Dallas. Played a few for Philadelphia. Dave Barr, Paul Cavallini, Mike Needham, and Gord Donnelly coaching decisions.
You got to love any game in the Boston Garden. I love this place. I love playing here. I loved watching the games here and covering it. There you see Bob Gainey, a guy who played an awful lot of hockey games here as a player, and over the last couple of years, of course, as coach with Minnesota and now Dallas. Gainey, a defensive-minded guy. Everybody knows that, and he's got his club playing good defense once again this season.
Adam Oates will be out to take the face-off for the Bruins. It'll be Oates, Murray, and Donato. Face-off one back to Iafrate with that big rifle shot. Whistled that one once and twice off the defenseman in front of him. Murray the shot. That one's tipped wide. That went off the defenseman. Wesley tried to dump it back out in front. Dallas will clear it out. Iafrate back. Iafrate is teamed up with Wesley, and a delayed offside call on the touch-up in the zone.
Well, there's Brian Sutter, the very intense coach of the Boston Bruins, and intensity is his middle word. I think all the Sutters are the same. He's got his club playing very well this year, and really, when you look at these two teams, they're very evenly matched up. And the guy that a lot of people have come to see, if they haven't had a chance to see him yet, Al Iafrate. Call him the wild thing, call him anything you want. This guy can play, and I think the prospects of playing in this small building, Gary, have to be astronomical. Him and Bork on the power play, a couple of guys who can just shoot cannons. Look out, goaltenders.
Iafrate's in 4 games picked up 4 goals and 2 assists for the Boston Bruins. Overall 10 goals this season, so he has done well in the department the Bruins needed it in, and that was scoring from a defenseman with Ray Bork out of there. Cleared back on the near side for Marois. Daniel Marois has missed virtually all of this season. Finally getting back into play for Boston. He could make a real difference for this team. Centered in front. Swept shot. Score! Hines puts it in! And the Bruins have a 1-0 lead.
Well, you mentioned Marois' name, and it didn't take long for him to set up a nice play. We'll get a look at it. Marois on the right wing side, and he gets it over to Hines in the middle. Let's take a look at it develop. There's Hines in the slot. Keep an eye on him. Look at the fake shot. Pass all alone. Hines just scoops it in the bottom corner. Andy Moog perhaps back in the net a little bit. Let's take another look. Here's a play by Marois, misdirecting everybody. Out in front to Hines. He has a little bit of trouble handling it, but he just sweeps it. That's a hard play for the goaltender, hard shot rather, for the goaltender to handle. But you could see Hines wasn't looking where he was shooting. It was almost like a backhand in that respect. He was just sweeping it towards the net. Andy Moog back in his net a little bit, and it cost him because it went right in the corner.
You saw Stevie Hines kind of shaking his head like, well, you got to have luck on your side sometimes. Hines picks up the goal. Marois gets the assist. Hines has been out the last 2 games with a lower back problem, and Marois is playing in just his 7th game since coming back from the injury. And the 2 of them combined for the first goal. No other assist on that. 59 seconds into the game. Boston has the 1-0 lead. Jam up behind the net. Hard hit. Bridget Matvichuk, number 4 of the Stars, along the boards, really ladling Stewart. Now Broughton moves over on him. Broughton and Stewart. Huscroft moves in. Jamie Huscroft trying to kick it out of there. Didn't have anywhere to go with it. Don Koharski, the referee, out of the way, and the Stars back the other way in the offside 2-line pass. So the Bruins up 1-0 with 18:20 to go here in the first period. They get the first one and they get it early, and when they do, there you go.
Well, that explains a big part of why they've been played so well this year and why they have the record that they do. This is such a tough building to play in, and when they get an early lead, it pumps them up. This hometown crowd backs their Bruins as well as anybody in the NHL. They always have, and when they get pumped up in this building on this ice surface, it makes it tough to play against them.
They are 24-10-4 this season when they've scored the first goal. We told you the new Boston Garden here's going up right behind the current Boston Garden, which will be torn down in about 2 years from now when they get the new one open. Up off the dasher. May couldn't get it. He was picked up by Stanton. Gordy Roberts goes back. Roberts and Evison were at it. Stanton picked up the loose puck, cleared it up along the far side boards, not out. Shane Churla. Churla looking. Churla the shot. That one ripped by Casey. Good setup in front of the net as May had moved in and set up a screen. Used the other way. His shot deflected back right through the middle. Nipshire waits, dropped it off, and a whistle. An interference call coming in front of the net. I think interference on the goaltender, interfering with the goaltender by a Boston Bruin. Don Koharski making the call. Andy Moog in net made one nice save through a screen, and the second one he was interfered with on.
Brent Hughes is the guy going to the penalty box, but let's take a look at the chance on goal by Fred Nipshire. He gets the puck in the faceoff. So look at this move. Holds on, pulls it into his body, tries to string it out. The only thing he did wrong is he didn't go up. And of course, it's easy to say after the fact. He knows it right now. He should have gone up top. Here's another look from up top. He strings it out. You can see Moog is down. Once the goaltender goes down, obviously you have to go up. He didn't do it. Andy Moog with a big save.
And Hughes picks up the interference with the goaltender at 2:08. And with the Bruins leading 1-0, the Stars get the first power play of the game. They are 17th in the league on the power play, but 8th on the road. Better power play on the road than at home, but they are up against the #1 penalty killing team in the National Hockey League. The Bruins have given up the fewest power play goals, only 51. Off the backboard, Sedano flipped it right back through the middle. Good chance. Mike Craig back to the point, brought knocked down by Oates. Short-handed the Bruins, and they'll drop it up ice. Ludwig goes back to get it. Bruins specialty teams have been outstanding overall. They are 3rd best in the National Hockey League, and their specialty teams combined. Only the New York Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres have better overall numbers than do the Boston Bruins. Ledger dropped it behind the net. Power play for Dallas. Broughton can't hold it in. Neil Broughton has to go back through center. Dallas will regroup. They've got 1:07 left on the power play. Ledger drops it off far side. Gagne, Modano, and Craig up front of the power play. Head first into the boards. Wesley. Smolinski over there trying to dig it out. Broughton held it in. Jam up. Dallas get everybody over the far side. Craig's open in front. Can't get it to him. Covered up, and there's the whistle. Craig was all alone on the near side and was banging his stick for the pass.
Al Iafrate with a huge play here. That's the kind of plays you have to have when you're killing penalties. He went down and blocked this attempted pass across in front of his goaltender. Let's take a look at it. You can talk about his shot and all his offensive ability, but watch this defensive play. See Iafrate, he goes down, he takes away everything along the ice. You can see it was a 2-on-1 down low. If that pass gets across, it'll be a quick one-timer on Casey. Those are the toughest ones to save. Iafrate didn't let it happen.
Al Iafrate, despite the fact he's noted, as you say, Brian, for that big shot in the offense, he can play some D. He's a big presence.
I think he's the epitome of reckless abandon. I think if you look that up in the dictionary as pictures there, he just goes end to end. He bangs into people. He's got that huge shot. And I like guys like that who can set the team on edge.
Both teams.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He's at the full length of the ice. Matvichuk back to get it. 40 seconds remaining on this Dallas power play. Dallas has picked up 72 power play goals this season. Going after one here to tie it. Matvichuk, save made by Casey. Right for the 5-hole, and he squeezed it shut.
Nice play by Dallas coming up the ice here. In this building, it's so difficult. Every phase of the game is affected by the ice surface here at Gary. 191 feet long instead of 200 feet long, and it's only 83 feet wide as compared to the usual 85 feet wide. So in other words, you could drop this ice surface right on top of any other rink in the league that's been made, say, in the last 10 years, and it wouldn't touch the boards anywhere. And on top of that, egg-shaped corners, the puck wheels around real quick. It affects the power play. It affects the way you kill penalties. It affects everything out there.
Fred Nipscher, who you see taking the face-off, we'll tell you about him when we get a moment. This is a young man who's just coming to the Boston Bruins. Courtnall on the far side. Nipscher able to kick it up to the point and out of the zone. Nipscher played his college hockey at St. Cloud State. He's 24 years old. He's called up on March 24 with all the injuries. He wears number 48 for the Bruins, and he's out there killing penalties. Hatcher brings it in for Dallas. Power play down to 8 seconds for the Stars. Bruins doing a good job killing this off in the corner. Darian Hatcher with Trent Platt. Platt works it up for Courtnall. Penalty is over. Back to even strength. Centering pass through everybody. There's Hughes. He just came out of the penalty box. Hughes racing. Got a lot of room. Hughes missed it on the short side. And he got all of that. Gordy Roberts on the far side for Boston holds it in. Played by Courtnall behind the net. So the Dallas Stars do not convert on their first power play chance. They want to change it up, so they shoot it in on Casey at the other end. Shots early on in this game are 3-2 in favor of the Bruins, and the Bruins have the 1-0 lead as we are 4.5 into the first period from the Garden. The Bruins and the Stars. Brian Sutter's team has really played well with the loss of Neely and Ray Borg. They've come together and they've gotten the kids in the lineup. He wanted to give them a chance to play before the playoffs anyway, but not under these circumstances. They've always done well against the Stars at the Garden. Very well.
And that kid at center right there, Brian Smolinski, especially since they traded Joey Juneau, his career is going to take off. It already has in a very quick way this season. He's done a great job for them, and the pressure's on him to continue.
28 goals for Smolinski. McPhee brings it in, hooked from behind by Marois. Rolled in on Casey, who tipped it away to McPhee. Mike McPhee centering from Modano, came all the way back to the point. Shot Lawler, save made. Smolinski to clear. Lawler on the far side, never got to him. Cleared out of the zone by Gord Roberts. Marois putting pressure on at the other end. There's Smolinski right there. Tried to move by Modano, could not. Mike Modano leading the Dallas Star team in scoring. 44 goals, 38 assists, and 82 points on the year for Modano. He's 21st in the league in scoring overall and 8th in goals. #1 for Dallas. Back at center, the Bruins, they have a 1-0 lead. Stanton had it tipped away, picked up by Marois. Smolinski comes back to Marois. Modano knocks it down. While Stanton plays it, they come over the boards. Both teams on the chain. Stanton the red line and in. Molik had to go off his back. Andy Moog still hanging on as Donato moved in. Fans thought he held on a little too long, but no call.
Well, Mike Modano's the key player for the Dallas Stars. There's no doubt about that. And unfortunately, he did miss a couple of games this season because of injuries, but he is so much fun to watch. I think he's like Jeremy Roenick in my book as far as the grace with which they play. Tremendous speed and grace at high speed, great hands. And I think the difference, Bob Gainey, right from the beginning of the year, he pointed Modano in the right direction, said, you've been known as a fringe player, you've been playing around the outside a little too much. We want you going right through the slot and stopping in that area. You'll get more chances to score if you hang in there, and it's paid off for him.
No question about that. And he's at the tender young age of 23 taking on a leadership role with his team too, which he hadn't done before. And I think we sometimes forget he is only 23 years old. He's got a tremendous career ahead of him. Shane Churla on the far side. Wesley the shot blocked and deflected to the middle. Gilchrist has it. Brent Gilchrist, the veteran, headed out to the Stars. There to head by Churla. Churla knocks it down again. Churla sends it in the zone. Wesley getting over there with him. A delayed offside call as Gilchrist was still in on the near side. 13:59 to go here in the first period. Boston's got the 1-0 lead. Glenn Wesley also called on with Ray Bourque out of there to put more ice time in on the ice for the Bruins.
There goes Shane Churla. He's the designated captain right now. They're using a rotating system of captains because Mark Tenorti, of course, is out with a broken leg, and he's been a captain the last couple of games, and he will go through his segment, and then they'll pass it on. And even throughout the playoffs, they're going to use 3 different guys, Broughton, Churla, and Modano, and they're going to rotate the captains.
Entering injuries, Stevie Leach still out with a bad knee for the Bruins. Every injury with the Bruins is a knee right now. Modano the shot right through Casey, just let it go. Joseph Stumple is out. He's got a knee injury as well. Unbelievable. 4 injuries, all knees. Back to Wesley. Save made Andy Moog, and it went off Murray right back at him. He made the initial save, then Murray out in front had it hit his skate and go right back on Moog. He stayed down and covered it up.
Let's take another look at this one. Things happen quickly in this building. Speed is not the important thing here. Quickness. Here you see the attack, and it goes off a foot. Boom. All of a sudden, it's a scoring chance because of the small size of the end zones here in Boston Garden. When the defenseman moves in from the top of the circle, you're really in tight. Here's a lower look. Here's more of an idea of what Andy Moog is looking at as it comes toward him. He was ready for it. That quickness, he dropped down and covered up.
Andy Moog, 302 wins in his career. Chance to talk about him as we go through the game tonight, but probably one of the most underrated goaltenders in the National Hockey League history to win 300 games. Courtnall brings it in, and one of only 10, by the way. Tipped away by Casey, played in by McPhee. It'll be left in behind the net. Nipscher goes back to get it. 5'11", 185-pounder. Brett Nipscher up the board. Got jammed on him. Nipscher hit, still has it. Tries to flip it out. Nakachuk knocked it down. Never did get it out of the zone, though. Iafrate back. Iafrate in his own end to send it around the net. McPhee ran into Iafrate, and McPhee felt that. It goes the length of the ice. They wave off, and he thinks that Nakachuk's going to come back and play it. Near side intended for McPhee. Rolls in wide to Casey. This will be an icing call as Sweeney moves in. Don Sweeney on the touch-up. ESPN2's Fire on Ice in the Garden in Boston. The Bruins leading at 1-0. Friday night is National Hockey Night on ESPN, and tomorrow night, these Boston Bruins will be traveling to take on the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres and Alexander McGillney back from the grand jury to the ice. 7:30 Eastern. That's on ESPN tomorrow night, National Hockey Night.
Big star for the Boston Bruins, Adam Oates. This guy can really play. Great playmaker. Last year, 97 assists, and he's no slouch this year either. He's in the top 5 when it comes to assists, but he can make great plays. He can also score goals, too, and I think he surprised everybody last year with his goal output, but first and foremost, he looks to make the play.
He is the 4th leading scorer and 3rd best in assists in the National Hockey League, Adam Oates, and he's got a streak going. 8-game scoring streak, 6 goals and 9 assists. Can't Stewart came over, put the big hit on Churla. Comes back to Jamie Huscroft in the middle. Two checking lines out there right now. Churla's out there with Alan May. Ludwig backs it up. Shaw's got it. Shaw and Huscroft and Stewart. Big checking line for the Boston Bruins. Huscroft the hit in the far side. Shaw along the near side boards. Held in by Adam Oates. Down the middle. Stewart winding up. Can't get the shot off. Shane Churla picked up his stick from behind. Lawler's got it along the boards. Mike Lawler. He got knocked down at the other end as he sent it out. The lines aren't called checking lines for nothing. Cleared around the board. Stewart gets pinned up over there by Dean Evison. Evison centering this line with Churla and May. Shaw goes back to get it for Boston. 1-0. Bruins are leading. They scored 59 seconds into the game. Smolik shot deflected into the corner. May has got it. Knocked away by Sweeney to Oates. Oates fire side for Stewart. Oates into double shifting here. Clears it up. Ludwig goes back to get it. And both teams will change it up. Dallas trying to catch the Bruins in the change. Ledyard sent it in. Far side. Gagne. Smolik dumps it into the corner. He gets taken out of the play by Paul Stanton. Gordy Roberts trying to clear it around the board. Smolik held it in again. Tipped in front of the net. Roberts is right there. Bruins connecting pass comes to Marois. Daniel Marois. Gagne all over him. Back for Stanton. Good forechecking here by the Dallas Stars. Smolinski brings it up. Smolinski the turn. Smolinski ran it inside of the net. And there goes the cage. Stanton and Smolik and Marois exchange hellos against the boards and hang on. We'll keep you posted on other games going on. Philadelphia's got to have some points if they're going to make the playoffs. They're not in right now. Calgary's taking the lead. Fleury and Nylander have had the goals. Detroit taking on Quebec. No score there. Quebec's not going to make it. One of the great disappointments of the season. Washington, Chicago still going to be starting in Toronto, San Jose later. Can you believe Quebec after last year not even close to making the playoffs?
Well, things change quickly. You've seen it on each coast. It's happening for Quebec and it's happening for Los Angeles. It just shows you how balanced the club is, and it shows you at the trading deadline. Look at all those deals that were made at the trading deadline. Unbelievable. Why? Because so many teams think they have a shot at it.
Yep. Quebec's got to go back and regroup all over again, and so do the Los Angeles Kings. Elias Frady out there in this unit for Boston. Got 11:03 left to go in the first period, and the Bruins the 1-0 lead. Sent in by Matt Tkachuk, who took out his own man Gagne after he shot that in. Comes back outside the center ice. Gagne back up. He's okay. Iafrate will chase it down in the corner. Now Iafrate in his 72nd game this season between Boston and the Washington Capitals. Dallas starting to put some heat on it territorially as they've been able to hold it in the last couple of shifts. Backed up again behind the net. Nipshire comes over to play it. Couldn't control it. Centered right through the crease. Gagne tried to tip and could not. Drake set him up. Good hit on the far side. No call. They were looking for a penalty. The Stars were tipped away from Iafrate by Matt Tkachuk. And they come back through center. That was Broughton who got knocked down at the other end. Paul Broughton, he's back up and okay, but he thought one should have been called. Broughton out in front. Hughes knocked it away from him. Hatcher the shot, and that's deflected wide off Hughes' stick. Back to Lawler on the far side point. Down low, long shift here. Centering pass by Broughton. Score! He got it out in front of the net, and Gagne banged at it twice and has tied this game at 1-1.
Dave Gagne standing in front of the net. Those are the kind you love to have. You just have a couple of those a year, and it pads those stats pretty easily. And Gagne gets lots of those. He's in the right place at the right time. The puck is simply thrown in front. There it is, just laying there. He got one whack at it. That's all he needed. Casey had the pads open, and it found the mark in between them. There's the overhead look at it. It'll go off a foot, sitting right there, teed up just perfectly. Casey did get a piece of it in off the inside of his leg.
Good setup, and they tie the game up. And territorially, over the last 4 or 5 minutes, they've taken over, holding that puck in the zone. Gagne is the third leading scorer on this team, and that is his 26th goal of the year, the even strength goal, tying this game up. Paul Broughton with a nice setup. Goal coming at 9:53. Hatcher gets the other assist. Gagne from Paul Broughton and Hatcher. And that balances out Hines' 9th goal, which was picked up 59 seconds by the Bruins. 1-1. And Dallas just sends it up ice. Sweeney there to knock it down. Sweeney and Shaw, the defensive pairing. Oates goes wide side. Murray cutting to the net. Donato sends it all the way around. Murray, Donato, and Oates for the Bruins. Oates behind the net. Madonna on him. Madonna got taken down by Adam Oates. Got the stick in the skates that time and dumped him. And came away with the puck. Adam Oates Along the board, Shaw cannot hold it in.
We talked a minute ago about the flurry of action at the trading deadline, and Dave Gagne's name was a name that was being bandied around an awful lot. Everybody wants this kind of guy. 25, 30 goals a year, can play both ends of the ice. He's a very valuable player.
Offside called there on the Bruins. 9:15 left in the first from Boston. Boston and Dallas tied at 1. Take a look at Andy Moog in net for Dallas. We told you he played here for Boston. 5 years here at Boston. Now playing for the Dallas Stars, and on our Miller Genuine Draft League leaderboard among the active goaltenders, Andy Moog is #1 in wins, and just made a good point because #2 is Grant Fuhr, and they know each other, Brian.
What a great tandem that was way back when in Edmonton when they had the great teams. It was Fuhr was the #1 guy at that time, but Andy Moog played some great hockey for them as well.
Those teams were so good that those two goaltenders are 1 and 2 in the active list. And Andy Moog, by the way, is 10th all time. 10th all time in wins.
He's one of those guys that sneak up on you. That's like Mike Gardner with 600 goals to me. Same kind of idea. They just sneak up on you and go, wow, those are incredible numbers.
Yeah. People just wouldn't name him there. Up at the point, held in with the Bruins. They put the heat on. Smolinski's got it. Smolinski. Bruins spreading it out here, intending for Smolinski in the middle. He couldn't get back to pick it up. Dallas coming the other way. Broughton will bring it up. Broughton McPhee on the near side. Over to Craig. Back to Broughton. Broughton tipped it in. Casey had to make a save. That one bounced on Casey, and he knocked it away.
Dallas has had a couple of chances on the rush. They've had very little sustained pressure so far. We're past the halfway point in this first period. We'll take a look at this one on the rush. Third or fourth time in this game on the rush they've gotten a decent chance. And this one ends up to be a bouncing puck. But this a little give and go. Look at Broughton go through the middle. It bounced over a stick and it changed direction actually off the Boston defenseman's stick, and it gave Casey fits just for a minute. But Dallas has been pretty effective with their quickness through the neutral zone. I think perhaps team speed-wise they might have more quickness when you look at some of the guys like Courtnall and Madonna and Broughton up front. But the trouble is in this building, it's not top-end speed so much. You've got to get the puck on the stick of the guy who's loose at the time because that gap closes very quickly.
Matt Matchuk bounces that one off the board. Stewart came back to get it and cleared it out of the zone. No icing here. Matt Matchuk plays it. Nipshire going back behind the net with him for Boston. Matt Matchuk looking for a little help up to May. May, Churlin, and Evison out there for the Stars. Cleared around by Wesley. Far side Hughes. Stewart. Nipshire, the line for Boston. Tipped the other way to Iafrate. Iafrate, Wesley, May. A little hack at him. Got the puck away. Iafrate wouldn't have that. Went back, got it. Hughes sends it in. Andy Moog at the side of the net. Darren Hatcher goes back to get it. Darian Hatcher. The two big Hatcher brothers in the National Hockey League. His brother, of course, in Washington. Both of them with great size, strength, and good skate speed. 1-1, 7:45 left to go here in the first period. There you see Darian Hatcher. For the Boston Bruins, a season with all the injuries that they've had, and the Cam Neely in one game out the other. A little streaky, and understandably so.
When you have major impact guys coming in and out of the lineup, Neely when he's in, it's just unbelievable. His statistics are enormous. Game-winning goals, the number of goals he scored, period. When he was in there, I watched him only a couple of times, and it was a pleasure to watch him. He gets open inside the offensive zone, and you think, how can anybody in the right mind allow Cam Neely to get any open ice in the offensive zone? But he does it. He's smart.
50 goals in 49 games, but he is done for the year. They had hoped he might be back in the playoffs. It just isn't going to work. Cam Neely's season is over. The question is now what? Oates tips it away to center. Brought up by Shaw. Murray trailing. Shaw's shot deflected. Donato comes back to the point to hold it in for the Bruins. Batted up in the air to Ludwig. Donato chasing it in. Donato on the stick. Dropped it off. Adam Oates tried to turn around short. Lawler was on him. Wouldn't let go. Sent back for Oates. Adam Oates still tied up. Shaw steps up. Oates has it. Oates drops it off to Murray. Murray back to Oates. Oates a little room. This is not a power play. Centering pass off skates. And it careens away. Sweeney will chase it down. A little help up for Murray as Casey trying to catch him in a change. Oates still out there. Oates sends it wide side, but it hit players and just deflected down to the ice. Almost had him in a line change. Not quite. Casey the save at the other end. Madonna moving in, and he stays down on the puck. Shots are 8-5 in favor of the Stars. Talked about Neely and Bork both being out. Thought it'd be interesting for you to see what the numbers are and how they are missed. You see what Ray Bork's numbers are. And Cam Neely, remember he did that in 49 games.
That's right. So you're missing clutch scoring with Cam Neely. Not just the 50 goals, but clutch scoring. And Ray Bourque, who plays 30, 35, sometimes 40 minutes. Sometimes I think they lie about the numbers. I swear he's out there all the time. And he can play every phase of the game. Kill penalties, stand up with the blue line, play a good defensive game, pass the puck, and shoot those bombs to the point all night.
Ray Bourque is still #1 among defensemen in scoring, but he's only 10 points ahead of Sergei Zubov of the New York Rangers. Zubov's got a chance to be the #1 defensive scorer in the league with about 8 games left for the Rangers. Tipped away by Andy Moog into the corner. Modano chases it down. Modano's not touched the puck a lot here in the first period. Bruins have had him pretty well tied up when he's out there on the ice. Sent in by Ledger. He gets run by Marois. Behind the net, Gordy Roberts. Roberts, the backhand up the boards and cleared out of the zone. Ledger back. Ledger sends it in. The Smolinski line. Karatalnov is out there now. And Marois has come on the ice when Modano's been out there. Smolinski. Modano had a piece of him from behind, lost the puck. Modano trying to clear it up and out of the zone, does. Trenton Platt sent it ahead and paid for it. I afraid he leveled it.
Modano has not had the puck very much here. He's been in the league a couple of years, so he's been into Boston Garden before, but a guy with that kind of speed has to be smart with it, because sometimes you're so fast, you skate into trouble, and you don't get the full effect of your speed.
Or go right by the play. Sometimes in this place, you just miss it. Al Iafrate, as Brian was saying, he'll run around and take a shot at folks, and he just did.
He sure will. And, you know, when you think about the trade for him for Juneau, and again with Neely being out of the lineup, but if you consider the fact that Joe Juneau, I would guess, and I haven't seen the stats, he plays 20 minutes a night, maybe 25 minutes. There's a guy, number 43, who can play 30, 35, 40 minutes. He's a workhorse out there. You put him out there with Bourque, and you can make up for it a nice time. And he's got 14 goals already this year.
He ended up being exactly what Boston needed at the time with Ray Bourque going out, because Ray Bourque, of course, plays enormous numbers of minutes. 3/4 of the game in important games. And as you say, that's something I'm afraid he can do. Hipshear held it in the corner. Broughton got a piece of him. Jammed up along the near side boards. What a charge was put on there by Shane. Mike McPhee came running into the pile. Hatcher's got to wait. Already a couple of stars in the zone. So he dumps it in the corner. I'm afraid he goes back to get it. The hitting picking up a little bit here. In the last couple of minutes, Andrew McKim out there for Boston. Cleared the center. Played by Matvichuk. Matvichuk and Hatcher teamed up as a defenseman. There's McKim up on the forecheck. Hatcher picks it up. 5 minutes to go in the first. Game tied at 1-1.
I think Dallas would like to pick up the pace on the physical side. Boston usually plays that type of game, but Dallas is unable to get any sustained pressure in the Boston zone. I think if they can get their dump-ins going and get some body contact, they might get some cycling going down low and get some chances.
Shaw's shot save made Andy Moog. Had to come a long way from the left side to pick that one up. Stars Lawler sends it in. May giving chase. Tried to play it in the corner. Could not as Casey got it up the boards. Not out though. Dean Evison holds it in. Evison gets help from May. May looking to the middle. Shaw got a piece of him. Churla centered. Deflected back to Ludwig. Ludwig dumps it back inside, and Murray got it. Murray out to Oates. Oates is onside. He's got Donato cutting. Can't get it to him. Lawler broke that one up, or it would have been a 2-on-1 for Boston. Murray on the near side. Murray with room. Back to Oates. Oates, you see what he does? He gives up a lot of chances. Deflected off Andy Moog, and he gets a whistle, even though the puck was free. He'd rather pass than shoot. And he just did it again right there. Great to have you with us. We're in Boston. Game tied at 1. Both these teams battling for important playoff points. For the Dallas Stars, they're making a run at moving up the ladder on Detroit and Toronto. There are the current points and games remaining.
I think at this point in the season, you have to be playing well every night. You have to force yourself to be the best you can be, because you can't turn it on and off and let the points take care of themselves. Certain things are out of your hands. But if you know that you're giving a good effort each and every night, the next game you play is the playoffs. You don't just all of a sudden flip a switch and get it going. So you just want to play hard right now and let the points sort themselves out.
They've got a shot at it. They've got a chance, and they are playing well. They are 1-1-1 on this current road trip, a long one for them. They got 6 games on the road here. In fact, their longest road trip of the season, and they'll head back home to finish it up. We were just talking about Darian Hatcher and his brother, of course, who plays for the Capitals. Gainey likes him.
He sure does. He's had a heck of a year. This kid is a big, strong kid. He's not quite as fast as his brother Kevin, who plays in Washington, of course, and had such a great year last year, especially scoring 30-odd goals as a defenseman. Not as fast as straight-ahead speed, but Bob Gainey feels that Darian Hatcher here in Dallas has a better all-around game, better understanding of the game, perhaps, than his older brother does.
Says a lot about hockey knowledge. Smolinski moves in to take the face-off against Gagne. Gagne, one of the better draw men, really short sticks, and gets that hand way down on the face-off and won that one. Cleared around. Marois stepping up to hold it in. Did on Gilchrist. Tried to drop it back. Stanton holds it in. Quick near side. That's Smolinski. Smolinski, Marois in front. Save made, and Andy Moog hangs on. And Hatcher and Marois. Marois is showing a little nastiness that I'm not sure I remember seeing from him in past years.
Well, I've seen it in certain occasions. I think that probably he has not done it on a consistent basis, and that's been one of the knocks on him. But he was in there stirring it up against a pretty big guy.
It's Marois setting up in front. See, Hatcher's got his arm wrapped around him.
Body position, that's what that is all about. Hatcher knew that Marois had inside body position on him. If the rebound comes out, Marois was in good position. He knew that. He had the inside track. He was between the Dallas goaltender and Hatcher. That's where he wanted to be. Hatcher was trying to correct that position. The only way he could do it is use the big size of his.
Shoulder operation kept Marois out for 54 games. Now back in. He's only 24 years old in his 6th season. He played with Toronto and the New York Islanders. Now here with Boston. Finally getting back in action just in time for the playoffs. And with Neely going to miss it all, Marois will make a difference filling some of those shoes.
That's right. He's got some offensive skills, definitely, and he plays the Bruins kind of style. He was mixing it up there in the last play. That's what they want him to do.
Brady, every time he touches the puck, fans kind of move up on their seats. Marois intercept for Hines. Deflected wide. It went off Ludwig's stick. This play again by Marois to try and set up Hines, who scored the other goal. Lost the only goal Boston has, and that was a Marois setup as well. 1-1 Modano, the steal. Mike Modano, John Casey. Modano wins it. Mike Modano picking it up at the blue line, and it's 2-1 Dallas.
Mike Modano was all over this mistake by Boston. A mix-up of communication by a couple of Bruins, including Iafrate trying to hand off to a teammate. Modano going the other way, took it in all kinds of time. Let's take a look at it there. There's Smolinski giving it to Iafrate. He just kind of mishandled it. And there's Modano in free from the center area. He makes up his mind early. He wasn't going to move. Is that a perfect shot or what? Top shelf, right in the crook of the arm. One of the best places to shoot. A goaltender has a tough time. What is he going to make the save? With his arm or with his hand? That one was snapped so quickly he wasn't able to move anything.
What a season for Mike Modano. His 45th goal. And it is a 2-1 lead for Dallas now. They've scored the last two. Modano unassisted at 17:02. That's a back-breaking kind of goal at this point of the game. Rotten moves up, tipped it away, but already in the zone. Ahead of him was Courtnall. 2:35 to go in the first period. Modano has given the Stars the 2-1 lead. And other games of the National Hockey League updating you. Calgary still up 2-0 over Philadelphia, where the Flyers trying to catch Florida. Quebec and Detroit. Detroit trying to hold on to first place. Quebec's just trying to get out of the town alive. I'll never. That story just absolutely fascinates me. Last season, the greatest turnaround season in NHL history for Quebec.
Well, you talk about chemistry on a team all the time, and it just shows you, look at the talent they've had on that Quebec team, but just having sheer talent at different positions is not just what it takes. You have to have a team, and for some reason, that team is just not getting together.
No one seems to have a very good answer.
No,
for
that's
that.
right.
Nobody really seems to know. Played around by Andy Moog. Shaw knocked it deeper into the zone. Bruins trying to get that tying goal here. Broughton, good hit put on Kempshire in the corner. Some real jamming. Boy, oh boy, right up in front of the net right now. There's some good hitting, and there's going to be a penalty. Hatcher and Hughes were going at it. Hughes goes by and says something to Hatcher, who already has drawn the penalty. Hatcher's going to go. This started in the corner when Hatcher hit him, and it continued out in front of the net.
Hatcher is one upset boy. He's got a penalty for hooking, and I think Hughes did a pretty nice job on this one as well. They were in close quarters in front of the net. You're right. It started in the corner. Good contact along the boards. You'll see it happening here. There's Hughes. There's the big hit. You can hear it too. They'll go back to the front of the net. Pushing and shoving. Again, body position there. That's a pretty good dive. We'll give him an 8-9.
Yeah, I would give him an 8-5. Darian Hatcher, the hooking call, 17:56, and then Hughes went right by him and made sure he rubbed it in a little bit by having a couple of comments as he passed it.
You got that right.
So Bob Gainey's team short-handed now with 2:04 to go in the period. The power play, not what he wanted to see here at this point after they'd gotten that Modano go-ahead goal. And the Boston Bruins, second in the league in power play effectiveness. 82 power play goals, 47 of them at home. Second overall, fourth on home ice in power play effective. And cleared out of the zone by the Stars. Boston getting their power play chance here. Almost a penalty-free game. Through the time remaining in the period, shots are even at 9-9, but the Stars have the 2-1 lead. Dallas a good penalty killing unit. They are 4th in the league at killing them off. And they get that one length of the ice.
Dallas takes a lot more penalties in the course of the season and per game than the Boston Bruins do, and I think that affects the statistics when it comes to penalty killing and power play for Dallas, especially the way penalties are called often. Sometimes the power play percentage can really be affected by you have a power play for only about 10 seconds, you take a penalty and there it goes. It happens to Dallas a lot.
Wesley, near side. Adam Oates couldn't get it. It was deflected out of the zone. Minute 9 to go on the power play. They've got time in this period for the whole 2 minutes worth of power play chance. Sweeney goes back to get it. Boston led still by Cam Neely in power play goals with 20, of course, out for the year. Adam Oates has got 16. Ray Bourque has 10. Minute left to go in the period. Cleaned up by Smollett.
Well, this is where they missed Ray Bourque, too, because he quarterbacks everything coming up the ice. He's not the only one that can do it, but when you have a guy who's that big a star on your team, you know he's there all the time. There's a tendency to lean on him when he's not there. Sometimes it falls apart, at least in short spaces of time.
Shaw steps up for Boston. 39 left to go in the period. Shot tipped it behind the net. Adam Oates trying to kick it away. Oates got pinned up there by Lawler. Now Broughton's got it, and it goes off Shaw the length of the ice. John Casey out to help. Near side for Shaw. Hines for Boston. Gagne and Modano have picked up the goals for the Dallas Stars. And the Bruins, 14 seconds left on the power play. And here a few of those Bronx cheers in Boston. Oates sending it in high off the glass. Donato on the near side. Donato, 5 seconds left in the power play. Only 7 left in the period, however. Back to Glenn Wesley. Wesley wrists it in front, deflected down. Can't get the second shot. They've cleared it out. Shaw will go back. Power play is over, and so's the period. We've completed one here at the Garden in Boston, where the Stars on Modano's goal have taken a 2-1 lead after one. Sports Smash will be coming up. We'll have highlights of games underway in the National Hockey League for you. Hang in. 2-1 Dallas. Live, but right now it's the Stars on their road trip who have the 2-1 lead here at the Garden as we get set for the second period. There you see the numbers from the first period. Pretty even.
Boston with more scoring chances and certainly more sustained pressure inside Dallas's zone, but it's Dallas that one that's ahead on the scoreboard 2-1. Dallas did not get much sustained time inside Boston's blue line, and I think that would be one thing that Bob Gainey would have been addressing in the first period intermission.
Hines from Marois at 59 seconds gave Boston a 1-0 lead. Then Gagne scored on John Casey from Broughton and Hatcher at 9:53, and Modano with a go-ahead goal is 45th. Game at 17:02, an unassisted goal. Only 2 penalties in that first period. Each team 0 for 1 on the power play as a result. But there was a lot of hitting. Exactly a fired-up period for either of the teams as far as the hitting was concerned in the first period. Back through center, it's Gagne. Gagne drops it off, and they are onside. Nice breakup at the far end by Iafrate. Iafrate reached in on Gilchrist and took that away. Back to Gilchrist. Centered shot save as Gagne got it in. Casey hugging the short side post on Gagne, who was set up and was alone. Murray on the far side dumps that in. Glenn Murray getting it in the zone. Baller up along the boards. Gagne the hit on Donato. Stepping up Murray again. Glenn Murray. Points open. Sweeney's there and can't hold it in. Broughton was all over him. Murray comes back through center. Bounces off Gilchrist. Puck picked up at the blue line. Lawler for nobody. Gonna roll in on net so there won't be any icing.
A little bit of turnabout is fair play. Dallas coming out with some good chances inside the Boston zone. In the last period, it was exactly the other way around. Boston taking advantage of some loose defense by Dallas. Shaw,
the shot. Did not get that on net. Craig picks it up on the near side. Mike Craig flipping that one out of the zone. Adam Oates leading scorer for Boston. Double shifting in this game with a couple of lines. Craig down the middle. Hook checked away by Sweeney. Craig picks it up again. Tried to send it into Modano. Was in front, but it deflected off skates. And the Bruins, Hines swept it into the corner. Trying to get it Marois. Marois had it taken away on the far side. Matt Tkachuk, Modano. Back through the middle, not touched. Wave off the icing. Shots are 10-9 in favor of the Stars now as they pick one up here in the opening minute of the second period. Smolinski dropped it off. Stanton the shot. Offside Marois on the far wing. He got driven into the zone and ended up falling down on the ice trying to get out.
Well, we're going to take a look at one of the chances Dallas had in the opening shift as they came out to start the second period. Good three-way passing into the slot over to Dave Gagne, who set up on the side, but it was well tracked by John Casey. He just tracked the puck, set up in the middle, shifted over. Gagne had nothing to look at.
Gagne's 26th goal already scored in this game. 53 points on the year for this veteran of the Dallas Stars as they head to the playoffs this season. Question being where? They're 3 points behind Toronto with 8 games left, including this one.
You see, you saw that stat. He only needs a couple more goals for a 6th consecutive 30-goal season. And this type of building, this type of game is tailor-made for Dave Gagne because he can play in small places. He's good in tight. He plays a compact game, I like to call it. He doesn't need that high-end speed. He can play in traffic and handle the puck, and he can score goals.
He's picked one up, as we said, here tonight. Into the middle, Ledyard comes back to get it. Grant Ledyard dumping it off for Waller to Shane Churla. Churla with Hughes in front of him. Blue line shot wide on John Casey. Far side puck loose. Bruins trying to clear it around. It's left there for Gordy Roberts. Roberts gets swung around and lost the puck. Good forechecking job done. Up ice. Churla moving over on the near side. May also in the corner. Stewart. Banging goes on. Gordy Roberts finally came in with the puck. Dean Evison, nice job side to side on that forecheck. Hughes, the move onside. Hughes can't throw it to the backhand. Churla tries to run him on the far side. Missed it. Evison has the puck and clears it out. He had the step, but when he tried to come back to the backhand, the puck rolled into the corners. He was being held from behind. Murray gets dumped by Evison, goes sliding into the boards. Cleared out to Shane Churla. Churla just dumps it in as the Stars want to change it up. Casey at the far end. Game opens up a little here in the start of the second period. Off Desonato's back. See if Wesley do battle. Broughton pokes it ahead. Lawler trying to clear it in. Brady back for Oates. Tipped away Broughton. Broughton sends it out of the zone. Neil Broughton, number 7. Courtnall looking. He can shoot. He's got room. Takes it. Save Casey, who came up to the bottom of the circle and put that one in the pads by the knee. Just underway. Second period, Boston Garden, where the Stars lead the Bruins. Want to remind you more Fire on Ice coming up on ESPN2. We keep rolling along towards the playoffs. The Chicago Blackhawks and Jeremy Roenick traveling to St. Louis to take on Brett Hull and the new look Blues, who are scoring. That's coming up Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, Tuesday night here on the Deuce. Off the draw, Broughton tipped into the corner. Wesley back to get it. Broughton steps in front of him. Broughton brought it up the boards. Held in at the point. Shot deflected out deep. Bruins get it back to Donato. Murray blocked it. Was able to clear it out. Adam Oates. Oates back to McGlenn Murray. He sends it deeper. Andy Moe tried to clear it around. Didn't get it very far. Ludwig was there. Sends it up. And off the dasher. Here's a 2-on-2. Shot and a save made by Casey at Courtnall on the near side. Broughton took the shot himself. Casey again moving up, cutting down the angle.
Casey doing a nice job of cutting down the angle on that one as well, too. It was a good shot from a bad angle. Let's take another look at it here from up top. You see Broughton take a look in the middle. He decides to pull the trigger. He was running out of room. Casey came out and made it look easy. When you come out that far, there's just no net to see. There's a very small area, and if you don't hit the mark, I think Broughton maybe was just wasting one higher, trying to get him to flinch a little bit there, but it didn't work.
See the numbers he has in the last 21, and he's won his last 3. He beat Anaheim last week, Montreal on Saturday, and Washington on Sunday as part of that record.
And speaking of the high, hard one that we saw from Broughton there, you know what, Gary, I don't think there's as much shot intimidation as there used to be. You go way back to the guys like Mickey Redmond's the guy that comes to my mind right off the bat. On a bad angle like that, he'd have been going right for the ears, trying to get that guy to bail out. Bobby Hull did it all the time. You don't see this much anymore.
Marois winding up, and the puck rolled behind him and out of the zone. Fans oohing and awing, but the puck ended up on its side, and Marois tried to knock it down, and it skipped right over his stick, and all he can do is talk to himself, because he had 2 Bruins down low waiting for either a pass or a shot. But the puck was not going to cooperate and sit for him. Daniel Marois, 7th consecutive game coming off that shoulder operation. Kept him out. Broughton up ice. He was onside. Broughton had to chase the puck. Shot and the save made Casey. Casey's playing it with minimal amount of effort here tonight, and I mean that in a positive manner. He's making saves. The economy of motion working here tonight. Smolinski dropped it along the boards, batted back out of the zone. Sweeney will give chase to the Bruins. Sweeney. 2 teams who love to check because their offense somewhat limited. Boston averages 3.5 goals a game and Dallas 3.39. Gagne will send it in wide. So both teams rely on their defense to get a lot of their work done if they're going to win games. Smolinski from his own end. Off for Sweeney, and a penalty coming up behind the play as Smolinski was high sticking, I think, on Broughton. Broughton was heading for a line change, and Smolinski, I think, gave him a whack.
Let's take another look at this one. Smolinski coming out of the zone, dishes the puck off. This is all behind the play now. Gets the stick up a little bit.
Gilchrist
pushing and shoving. Gilchrist gave him a pretty good shot too, but it's Smolinski is the one who gets nailed, and he kind of looked up skyward as he was headed to the penalty box too, like whoops, caught behind the play. But referee Don Koharski only singling out Smolinski on that play for high sticking.
He certainly wasn't going to look over at his bench because that's the kind of penalty his coach Brian Sutter would not be appreciative of.
Well, that's true, but if you're going to take a high sticking penalty, it beats the heck out of hooking or tripping.
Yeah.
Those are the ones they hate.
Yeah. All right, let's see what the Stars can do on their second power play chance. They had only one shot, one of the 13 they've had in the game came in their first power play opportunity as each team's 0 for 1 on the power play. And the second chance for the Stars, 15:07 to go in the second period. Dallas leading it by a score of 2-1. They scored the last 2 goals. Shaw, the penalty killing unit, and Madonna all over him, whistled on a delayed offside call. And that'll bring it back out of the zone and to the other end for the faceoff. Minute 47 left on the power play. Mike Modano picking up a goal here tonight. Started the day 8th among goal scorers. Now has 6 goals, 4 assists in the last 9 games. He's been hot when they've needed him.
There's Adam Oates, center iceman for Boston. He can play in every situation. He uses a really interesting stick. The blade of his stick, see if you can get a look at it. It's really sawed off. It's pretty short, a lot shorter than most guys. And it's particularly interesting with him because usually you don't handle the puck quite as well with a stick that's that sawed off. The guy I remember going way back several years ago, Reggie Leach, when he was a sniper, he came down the wing and just blasted the puck. But Oates uses that stubby blade on the blade.
Knocked away as Gagne was racing in. Casey able to bat it away. Sweeney over to pick it up. Yeah, you would think a playmaker would want as much wood as you could hand there to move the puck around. I guess let's ask Adam about that. That forces him, I'm sure, to play a little lower to the ice, a little closer to the body for puck control. And certainly has worked for him in his career as he is fifth all-time in assists per game. Shot deflected wide. Power play underway here for the Stars. They've got a minute 9 left. Bruins shorthanded. Oates gets it out. Short-handed chance. Stewart, and he missed it wide. And he had Broughton on him, but he still got a pretty good shot off that time. Nice play by rookie Cam Stewart, who came back up on Saturday from their minor league team.
Stewart didn't miss this one by much. We'll take a look at it. It was a good feed by Adam Oates. Kind of a football pass up in the air, and Stewart handled it well. He was being checked, as you can see, by Broughton, but he got the low shot away. That was just a whisker wide on the outside. There was room there. Andy Moog not exactly straight to the shooter there. There was some room on the far side. Stewart just missed the mark.
Stewart started the season with Boston, played 49 games, only had 7 points. They sent him down and then called back up from Providence to play on Saturday. He's out of the University of Michigan, getting a second chance this season. Fred Nipshier, the center, the rookie, out there to take the face-off. Won it along the boards, but the Bruins weren't able to control. 54 seconds left in the Dallas power play. Dean Evison trying to knock it down in front, has it. Pays for it as Wesley puts it up against the boards. Gilchrist the puck, Gilchrist centering cross ice. He gave up a scoring chance right there. He was wide open. Power play for Dallas. 2-1 lead. Courtnall sent it in low. Back to him. Courtnall looking. Runs it in. Courtnall comes it behind the net. Out in front for Gilchrist. Tipped away near side by Stewart. Held on to by Evison. Back up for Courtnall. We got Gilchrist in front of the net. Matt Mitchuk, the defenseman, was cutting in. Gilchrist the shot. Partially blocked. Wesley off the board. Here plays it up and out.
The Dallas Stars, rather, are trying to work the puck down low on their power play. The Boston doing a good job of keeping them to the outside and not letting them get that pass in the slot that they want.
Now only 13 seconds remaining on the power play. Puck ends up on the bench.
We talked a lot about Al Iafrate in the early stages of the game. And of course, the guy that they lost, Joe Juneau, he's going to be missed on this club too. I mean, I'm impressed with this guy, a young guy who really showed that he can handle the puck in a crowd. And I think in this building, it's very important. And certainly, they're not going to be in this Boston Garden forever. But the good thing about Juneau is he can handle the puck in the crowd, the same as Adam Oates. I think that's why Oates has come over here and really done a great job with Boston. certain types of centers will flourish in this building and do well, but you have to be able to handle the puck in the clutch. Juno was like that. They'll miss him, but Adam Oates, you know, is the kind of guy who can consistently do it game after game and year after year.
Pointed out the irony of that is that Craig Janney, when we went back and did his numbers, Oates is 5th all-time in points per game, and Janney is 6th all-time. Shot on. Casey makes the save. Power play is over. So the Stars 0 for 2 on the power play. Klatt had the opportunity there, and back to even strength. And the Stars maintain their 2-1 lead.
Well, there are the numbers that you were talking about right there. Helping hands. Assists per game. Adam Oates right there at the number 4 spot. Look at the company he's keeping there. Gretzky, Lemieux, Bobby Orr, and Paul Coffey.
Adam Oates, certainly a huge difference here, and showing what he's made of. As soon as Ray Bourque left the next game, he had a 4-assist game the game after Ray Bourque was injured and couldn't play.
Your big guys have to play at a high level all the time, and when there's a situation, as you just pointed out, Bourque going out, they find a way to step it up another notch.
Smolinski on the faceoff, couldn't win that one. Everson did. Then back around, Gagne did rather. Sent it in behind the net. Gord Roberts there. Roberts. Bruins having trouble clearing the zone here. Good hit put on by Smolinski over there. Smolinski out through center. Smolinski running with it. Gets hauled down. Penalty coming out. There's why they love that kid here. Smolinski created the opportunity, forced the penalty. Bruins will have a power play and a chance to tie this game when we come back.
Well, Craig Ludwig is in the penalty box for hooking, and we'll take a look at it here. I think it's more of a dive than a hook, but you'll take a look at it here. There goes Brian Smolinski. He goes down. Yes, the stick was on him, but really it's the situation. That's what called for the penalty. Smolinski had the lead on Ludwig. Ludwig was caught standing at the Boston blue line. When you're chasing from behind and you're hooking at a guy, if the guy's smart enough to go down, most of the time you're going to end up in the box.
So the Boston Bruins get their second power play of the game, not converting and not doing much with that first chance. Brady working the point, pass to the boards, lost it. Hatcher clears it out. Broughton giving chase, forces Casey to come out and play it over to Gun Wesley. Wesley still has Broughton there. It's put on by McPhee. Smolinski will take it back, dump it back in behind the net. Boston on the power play now. They are trailing 2-1. Wesley. Kartalnov sends it in. Played around by Andy Moog and tipped out of the zone by McPhee. Again, Casey to help out. Adam Oates will work in this power play with Smolinski and Kartalnov. Not seen a lot of Kartalnov tonight. 12 goals, 7 assists for him this year. He's worked a short-handed unit, a power play, and 1 full-strength shift that I remember. Knocked down Smolinski. Back to Kartalnov. Kartalnov. Boston counting on him to do big things this season. He didn't. Got sent down. Now with the injuries, he too has been called back up to try and add some offense to this team. Lawler's got it and sends it out. 54 seconds left on the Boston power play. I have Brady back. Lost it behind the net. Dean Evason. Great job by Evason. He lost his stick. I have Brady charges at him. Knocks him over. So Evason hangs onto his stick. Back the other way, Marois. Marois to Wesley. Power play Boston. Save made by Andy Moog. Kartalnov sends it behind the net. In front, off Marois' stick. Gilchrist clears.
Andy Moog did a good job of deflecting that attempted pass from the corner to the front of the net, because if that's on the stick, that's a quick one-time shot and probably a goal for Boston.
19 seconds on the Boston power play. Donato's able to hold it in. Ted Donato. Donato looking. Not a lot of room over there. Adam Oates back to Iafrate. Down low, Donato. Donato's got Sweeney cutting in. Tried to get it to him from the point. Couldn't do it. Blocked, and the Stars clear.
Andy Moog doesn't have 302 career wins for nothing. He's a very active goaltender in his crease area. He's moving his stick around a lot. He deflects a lot of passes. The goaltender has to be responsible for an area immediately around him as well, too, and help out his defense in deflecting those attempted passes.
So both teams 0 for 2 on the power play. We're full strength here. Matvichuk's got it for the Stars. They lead it by a score of 2-1. Their goals, Gagne and Modano. Hines had the first goal of the game in 59 seconds for Boston. Hatcher the shot. Waffle board deflected down low. Modano tipped that rebound out in front. Sweeney plays it up the boards. Matvichuk put the hit on, but it's cleared out. Hatcher comes back to get it.
Casey was standing in the right place at the right time there. That one was deflected drastically, but it hit him.
Right straight down. Modano deflected that. Paul Stanton trying to bring it in. Gets knocked down by Hatcher and Broughton. Modano giving Chase Sweeney there first, jams it up ice. This will be an icing call on the Bruins as Hatcher is there for the touch-up. So the 2-1 lead that Dallas had at the end of one, they are still in charge midway through this second period. Another Andy Moog sign there. Fans held it up for him as he came back from the bench during this timeout. Back in net at that end. Other games of the National Hockey League. You see Calgary, Fleury and Nylander have scored. Renberg, the leading rookie scorer in the league, is 77th point. Quebec, Detroit, no score. Washington has picked up a goal. Sylvain Cote, they lead Chicago. There'll be a couple other games going on later. Smolenski will take the face-off. A hard-nosed player. Really fits into this Boston background of hockey. Smolenski on that face-off wanted back. Shaw came back to help out. Courtnall took it away. Sean Courtnall do battle. Up the boards, not out. Hatcher again holding it in, deflected. Came back up to Marois. Lawler clears it out. That was a scream worthy of the movies right there.
I was looking for the vine.
Who was that?
Like Tarzan coming through the jungle on that one.
Get out of the way. Roberts starts it up ice. Marois shot, save made. Hines tried to knock it down. Smolenski does. Smolenski back in front. Knocked away again. Andy Moog. Ludwig in the corner, couldn't get it. Hines races over. Gilchrist chopped it away. 3-on-2. Now 3-on-3. Courtnall sent it in. Tried to set up Gagne too far in front. Hines will play it. Hines, the only goal this ninth of the year for Boston. 59 seconds into the game, and then two picked up. Gagne and Modano in that first period. And it's the 2-1 lead. Shots are 15-11 in favor of the Stars. 8:55 to go in the second. Drop pass intercepted. Donato back. Donato trying to run it in, can't get it. He's being stood up by Hatcher. Matt Tkachuk, brother, was standing right in front of him. Back behind the net, there's Darian Hatcher. Around the boards and out of the zone. I'm afraid he let that go. He pretended he could have touched it. He didn't fool Kevin Collins. Collins, the linesman on the far side, said no, you could have played that, waved off the icing. Adam Oates. Wesley hard off the glass and in. Moog leaves that one. Donato charging in for it. Ted Donato. Good play by Donato, forcing Matt Tkachuk to play it around. Platt hit by Oates. Puck against the boards. Trent Platt trying to dig it. Oates took it away. Oates moving back to Iafrate. Iafrate shot blocked into the near side corner. Platt got a piece of that one. Puck still in the Dallas zone. Now just cleared out Craig. Ices it to take the heat off. Iafrate will chase it down and touch it up for the icing with 7:58 left to go. Major League Baseball.
Dallas going for another road win here, Gary. They've had 18 wins already this year on the road and 40 points on the road. That ties their franchise record. So if they win here today, they'll establish new marks there. And 39 wins on the season. Their franchise mark is 40, including home and away. So they have a chance to tie that one again. So statistics are important after the fact, after the season is over, but they're nice to have.
Yeah, bit of an irony in that. A lot of folks thought with a move it would be another year's struggle for this team. Going from Minnesota to Dallas under less than great circumstances. But they have really gotten it done. As you heard Andy Moog say to you, Brian, during that interview, they really love their home. They've been received well. They're drawing good crowds, playing good hockey. Here's Kartalov. Shot save made. Good play out in front of Andy Moog that time. Kartalov came around from behind the net. Stanton held it in. Cam Stewart puts the hit on Waller. He went down in hard. Smolik further. Smolik got leveled. Gets up and comes up ice. He's going to go to the bench. He's a little woozy after that one. Stewart can't stop it. Rolls. Waller will get chased.
Smolik really took a pounding on that one. You're right. He got back up on his feet going right to his bench.
Shane Churla jammed it in. Dean Evison chasing it down. Iafrate is there. And you see all the ice time Iafrate's logging here tonight. Iafrate did battle to free it up behind the net. Bruins start back. Andrew McKim. McKim looking to the middle. Hughes center. Right in front, McKim, and he couldn't get a stick on it too close to the skates. He was open. And the game, now the pace picks up here in the last two shifts. Wesley avoids the hit. Comes through center. Couldn't be controlled. McKim couldn't play it. Wesley batted it away, gets it back. Iafrate up for Hughes. Hughes and McKim in front of him sends it in. Teams change it up. Broughton near side. Paul Broughton drops it off Gagne. Gagne has got a goal here tonight, taken down by Sweeney. Tied up on the board. Shaw puts the hit on Gilchrist. Hughes trying to dig it out. Hughes pays for it as he got leveled and knocked down. Puck still against the boards long enough for the whistle to be drawn, and a glove pass as well. 6:09 left to go, second period. Fire on ice from Boston. Dallas leading by 1.
Let's take a look at a hit that happened in the last shift. Boston Bruins with some pretty good forecheck. You're going to see Stewart with a hit on Molik. Bang! Thank you very much. Molik a little slow to get up, and as he did, he got back up on his feet and he headed right for the bench. He appears to be okay, but he was shaken up.
Stewart, that kind of a forward. He loves going to the corners and plays on the so-called checking line. Smolinski winning the faceoff, back for Don Sweeney. Back to Smolinski. Near side. Can't be controlled by Hines. Flipped in. Matvichuk dumped it deeper into the zone. Played by Casey in behind the net. 2-1 lead. That's the way the score was at the end of the first period. With Dallas holding on to it here in the second. Andy Moog at the other end. Matvichuk behind the net. Matvichuk trying to back it up. Ended up running it up to Courtnall. Dishes it. Tipped ahead. Rocky sent it into the zone. Courtnall up, trying to hold it on Sweeney. Sweeney, Courtnall, not free, and Smolinski's got it again. He drops it off for Shaw. Shaw off to Hines. Maybe Hines moving in. Hines, a little room, takes it. Save made Andy Moe. Breaks straight through. He had the stick down for that one. And the check over to Hatcher. Hatcher, blue line and into the zone to Courtnall, but McPhee had already entered on the right wing side, offside Dallas.
For generations here, the Boston Bruins have been excellent at virtually lining up along their own blue line and making it very difficult for you the opposition to attack. They force an awful lot of offsides. A lot of times you just have to chip the puck through and then go after it. That's why over the years, particularly going back into the late 70s and early 80s, before I think the Edmonton Oilers turned things around, it was dump and chase, a whole kind of generation there where the Flyers and the Bruins in particular dump it in and get that heavy hitting going in the offensive zone.
Boston here at home, 19-12-7. They are 10th in the league in home record winning percentage. They've outscored the opposition here at home 142-113 coming into tonight's game. Waller goes to the corner for the Stars. Far side boards. Here's a 2-on-1 chance. Craig on the right side. Modano in. Modano drops it back. Craig in front. Save made. Casey, and it goes wide. He had Craig right in the net with him. Lawler knocks it down. He centers again. Madonna waiting in front, set up the screen. Shot went wide. Craig in the middle. That is blocked. Never got to him. Donato up for Oates. Big scoring chance for Dallas. Oates, centering pass comes right back to him off the skates. Draws it back. He does that as well as anyone in the game. In front, Murray trying to get it. Can't. Iafrate shot deflected wide. Wesley able to hold it in. Andy Moe got Iafrate up real close that time, and he was still able to wind up. Iafrate trying to hold it in flat over to Craig, and he'll ship it in.
Dallas does not want to see a steady diet of that. Al Iafrate getting into the prime scoring area and cranking away.
When Iafrate winds up from about 10 feet away, goaltender's got to shake just a little bit anyway.
I think all you can do is come out at him and hope it hits you, because if it's on the corner, let's take another look at it here. You're going to see Iafrate sneak in from the point. The puck will come loose. There it is, lying. A prime situation. There it is. Yikes, jump out of the way. He was trying to go on the far side with that one. Moog did a good job. He didn't really have a chance to even come out on him. He just kind of froze in there, saw the situation. Look at that save. Good concentration by Andy Moog.
You don't have much time to react to that shot. Andy Moe has made 12 saves on the 13 taken by the Bruins. Now Boston's going to be shorthanded as Glenn Murray has gone to the penalty box. There's Al Iafrate. Then after the whistle, holding a stick call on Murray at 15:40. So Murray's gone, and the third power play chance of the game now for the Stars, who have the 2-1 lead. They have not picked anything up on the first two chances. Ledyard sent it in. Smolinski will send it out. Boston Bruins, when they're shorthanded, have picked up 16 shorthanded goals, and Dallas has given up 13. So that's a red flag situation for Dallas. Broughton in. Broughton turned the corner. Centered for Dean Emerson. Emerson shot and a save made. Casey hollering at his people in front of him to clear it out. He's had people right in the crease with him here on the last two shifts. And the Bruins send it length of the ice.
You bring up a good point. Those shorthanded goals for Boston, I think a big reason is because Adam Oates gets used a lot in killing penalties, as does Brian Smolinski, their young rookie who's come through so big for them.
They They've got Ray Borg 3 short-handed goals, and Oates and Donato and Smolinski and Sweeney and Joseph Stumple is injured. All have scored 2 short-handed goals this year. Hatcher sends it into the zone. 59 seconds left on the power play for the Stars. Bruins, though, have denied them any setup chance here. So the Stars go back behind their own net. Richard Matvichuk there. Matvichuk on the near side to Gagne. Gagne with Modano in front. Modano in. Modano the shot. Save made again. Casey holding it tight on the short side. Modano on the off-shooting wing.
Dallas going for the plays on the rush here on their power play, but they're not able to get penetration into the middle of the ice in that prime scoring area.
They haven't been able to get it set up as Bob Gagne's team being bothered by the Boston Bruins coming out playing the puck, forcing the play here.
Let's take a look at this last rush as Dallas approaches the zone. They're trying to get it to Mike Modano. He's on the off wing. That's always a dangerous situation, but he doesn't have very much of an angle there. Again, Boston doing a good job of keeping those snipers to the outside. Then the goaltender Casey simply has to come out and play the angle and makes it look relatively simple.
Think about this off wing, off shooting side there. Who's got the best shot from the off side? And I ask that because I think of Brendan Shanahan comes to mind to me as one of the hardest shots in the off wing.
I got Pavel Bure right up there.
Yeah, that's right. Gagne. You don't see a lot of guys who pack a lot of pump from the off wing shot. You really have to get your body in a kind of a strange position in order to get a good shot, even if you're taking a wrist shot. Sweeney up, short-handed. Sweeney got Matvichuk down. Shot save made again by Andy Moe. Still short-handed. The Boston Bruins. Modano tips it out. Sweeney back to get it. And the penalty is over. So Murray's back out on the ice. Dallas does not convert. They're 0 for 3 in the power play.
Excellent job by Boston killing off that penalty. Dallas really wasn't even close.
Boston still has given up just 51 power play goals. The fewest overall and the best percentage penalty killing Boston. Even strength. Chair brings it in, lost it at the line. Charlotte tipped it away. Played up by Modano into the seats. Ludwig into the seats. And that'll draw the whistle as Dallas continues to lead it 2-1. He's playing in his 900th game, by the way. And congratulations to him tonight on a milestone reached. There are the other games going on with Renberg picking up the Philadelphia goal. No score there. We talked about Joey Juneau. He has picked up one of those goals for Washington. Cote has the other.
Well, he's going to put some points on the board for Washington. There's no doubt. They've got some snipers on the Washington Capitals. They want somebody to help them get them the puck, and Joey Juneau is their man.
Off the face-off, Dean Evison back to the point. Shot deflected wide. Stanton took it, held in by Gordy Roberts. Ludwig behind the net, could not get it. Wraparound shot blocked by Dean Evison. Kalnov tried to get that in, couldn't. Shane Churla picks it up. Sline gets a lot of ice time. Churla out there with May and Evison. Dropped off Dean Evison. They are a good, solid checking line, but they also create opportunities. They work hard down low, and they'll make you pay the price like that in the corner. Thank you very much, Shane Churla. Gordy Roberts, the man he hit. Paul Stanton in the corner. Centering pass comes to Roberts.
I think Dean Evison's got to play. We've got to feel pretty secure with Churla and May on his wing. Nothing much to worry about there.
He can go running around pretty good out there, can't he?
Yeah.
Wesley goes back to get it. Final minute of the second period. We've had no scoring here in the second period. Hines in the first period is 9 for Marois. 59 seconds to Boston. Gagne at 9:53 from Broughton and Hatcher is 26th. And Modano unassisted is 45th on a breakaway at 17:02. But all that in the first period. Courtnall with it. Clears it out. 34 to go here in the second. Wesley's got it. I've got a sports smash coming up. Up to date. Have highlights of all the games going on. Right through the crease. Courtnall comes back to get it. Also, if we have a chance, we'll take you to the site of one of the other games going on and show you some of what's going on there. Iafrate knocks it down. Iafrate brings it in. Now Iafrate hooked by McPhee from behind. Swung around by McPhee from behind to the demise of the fans here wanted to call. In front, Sweeney, but it's covered up. Sweeney was charging down the middle for the centering pass from Hines, but it never got there. Andy Moe covered it up.
Well, Dallas has done a nice job in this period of really cutting off the middle of the ice, and it's the Boston Bruins who've had very little sustained attack. Here you take another look at the replay, trying to walk out from behind, but look at that coverage there. Dallas just smothered, thinks nobody was coming out, no bodies that is, coming out from behind the net. The puck came out. Andy Moe able to smother it very easily.
Andy Moe, strong game in net, limited chances for Boston, 14 shots, 13 saves for the former Boston Bruin, 34 years old in net. And I was talking with Andy before the game about those masks they're wearing. National Hockey League and the Hall of Fame up in Toronto is going to have to open a section to put these masks when these players start retiring. These are works of art.
That's for sure.
These masked goaltenders are really something to see. Beautifully done.
That one looks like it's out of Jurassic Park.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. The goaltenders meet with artists who do the artwork on them for what they want. Adam Oates waiting for the face-off here. Boston trying to set it up. They got 6 seconds left on the clock. Oates won the draw. Smolinski, Iafrate save made. They got it right where they wanted it. Ludwig clears. Set play. It worked. They got the shot, but Andy Moog was there to knock it down. We've completed 2 here in Boston. The Dallas Stars leading the Bruins 2-1. Now we're going to let you take a look at some of the Calgary-Philadelphia game. Ed Whalen, John Garrett will bring it to you from CKKX. And it's been Hines for Boston, Gagne and Modano picking up goals for the Stars, who have the 2-1 lead as we get set for the 3rd period here at the Garden. And the hitting did pick up in that 2nd period, Brian England.
Yeah, it sure did. There were a couple of pretty good hits going on. Boom, there's a nice one there. Shane Churl, I think we're going to see him a couple of times. Oh, there he is, yeah, 2nd time around. That's what they call forechecking. A little dancing in front of the net. That was the penalty. Hatcher ended up in the penalty box for that one. And Al Iafrate with a little how do you do at center ice. Churl on the receiving end.
Cam Stewart gave up his final year of college hockey at University of Michigan, signed a late contract with the Boston Bruins. Andy Moog in net, the former Boston Bruin, trying to pick up the victory here tonight for the Dallas Stars. John Casey at the other end for Boston. The 2 of them, of course, involved in the trade. One to the other.
Scoring chances, Boston 11-8 over Dallas. Things pretty much at a stalemate though in that 2nd period. I think that Boston had an edge early in the hockey game. Dallas came back and reversed things a little bit, but for the most part that 2nd period is pretty much a standoff.
The team's been able to convert on the power play with the Stars going 0 for 3, and Boston hasn't scored on a couple of chances. 3rd period underway. Lawler goes back to get it. Delighted to have you with us wherever you are here. Fire on ice intended for Adam Oates, and it's tipped out through center. Keep you posted on those other National Hockey League games as well as we roll along here in this 3rd. Wesley clears it up. Ludwig is there to get it. Ludwig gunning that one right back in. John Casey 29, 12, and 8 with a 2.75 goals against for Boston. Andy Moog at the other end 23, 17, and 6 with a 3.22 and an 8.96 save percentage. Dealt for one another. Shaw giving chase at the other end. Touches that one up for the icing call. Face off back in the other zone, and we're into our 1st minute here in the 3rd period.
Well, both these teams are still going to play it pretty cagey. I think they're going to try and play the body on the road. The good road team, Bob Gainey, will want his club dumping it in, forechecking when they can. They did create some good scoring chances early in the game on the rush, but Boston was able to shut those off later on. So it's been pretty much a standoff in that direction. But if you can get in there and get some good hits, we saw Shane Churla, who had dished out a few checks in this hockey game so far. They need some more of those to get some sustained attack in the Boston zone.
Mike Modano has picked up a goal. The puck had been hit with a high stick by Boston, so the faceoff stays in the end. Craig's shot, that was wide, deflected on the way in and did not end up on net. Mike Craig again trying to backhand that one, never got close. Sweeney brings it out. Sweeney sends it in. Smolinski giving chase. Smolik with him, tipped it away to Daniel Marois. Marois hit by Modano, and down he goes. Marois with that bad shoulder. That's the operation that kept him out most of this season. Klatt's got it. Every time he goes to the corner like that, Boston bench probably rises up a little bit, and so does he. Worried about protecting that shoulder, which is still healing. Sweeney bats it out through center. Smolik comes back to get it. Boston clears the zone. Smolik had it blocked at center by Craig, sent in by Sweeney, and Boston will change it up. Smolik takes it in behind the net. 19-15 the shots in favor of the Stars. Roberts sends it ahead. May on the near side. Just dumped it back to center. Roberts back to get it. 2-1 lead. Boston regrouping. Stanton picks it up. Next year has come out with Andrew McKim. Stanton's got it. And Roberts sends it into the zone. They'll be joined by Stevie Hines now on this line. Churla didn't touch that one. Would have been an offside pass. Roberts played it. Churla, good play though. By doing that, he created the opportunity. Didn't get the whistle, held it in the zone. May trying to dump it around Kent. Next year cleared it up to McKim. McKim coming. Back from McKim, rolls in on net, and Andy Moog will hang on to that one. The defenseman back for the Stars. They've not been caught up ice tonight. Goal scoring here in this game, all of it coming in the first period. Started early for Boston. Stevie Hines getting his 9th. Daniel Marois, the assist, giving Boston the lead, with the next 2 were picked up by the Stars. Gagne's 26 at 9:53, Broughton and Hatcher. And then Modano on a breakaway is 45th at 17:02.
Kind of a slow tempo early in this third period. There was no goal scoring in the second period at all, so therefore the tempo slowed down and became that close checking affair. Now when a goal is scored, certainly there will be a frenzy of action. Whichever team scores will come with a killer instinct to try and put the game out of reach. Both of these teams are good defensively. They're excellent with the lead, and they'll be looking to gain that lead and build on it very quickly.
Adam Oates, 72 assists on the season, 3rd best in the league. Not for this draw, and won it back. Iafrate could not hold it in. Iafrate gives chase. He and Courtnall. Iafrate will take it behind his own net. He really covers some ice. McPhee just held that one in, but he did. Adam Oates will pick it up. Clears it around far side for Donato. Can't get it out. Waller, that came outside the zone. Delayed offside call here. Boston gets the alto. Murray tipped away from him at center. Nice play. Courtnall gets it back. Tried to drop it off. Oates is there. Courtnall and Iafrate collided near side. Craig tips it back into the zone. There's Courtnall. His shot deflected wide and into the seats. Good play by Courtnall. He had the puck rolling on. He wound up and let her rip. Got a pretty good chance off that time. When the old garden is torn down, we're going to miss this. You're moving in on the press row here where we get the broadcast from. There are none better than hockey for doing a hockey game. Literally right out here on the ice. Gary Thorne, Brian Engblom. It's a great place to do a game.
Oh, it is. The best in the league by far. You're so close to the action, you can feel out and actually touch the guys.
You can actually talk to people during warm-ups down there on the ice without having to raise your voice. Iafrate, Boston fans, over to Murray. His shot save made. Goaltending's been outstanding. Both Casey and Moog have been on tonight. Donato to Oates. Oates tipped it away. Iafrate. Iafrate the turnaround. Had it blocked. Sent it in. McPhee blocked that. It is onside. Donato let it go to Murray. Murray with Broughton on him. Broughton chasing behind the net. Oates got Donato out in front. Oates still has it. Tried to get it back, and McPhee was there to take it away. Swept loose on the far side by Wesley. The Stars change it up. Adam Oates at center. Oates. Murray in front of him and Donato. They've been together in the line tonight. Oates has double shifted a number of times. Trying to send it around. Gilchrist did in the middle. Shaw tip, block, rebound. Len Murray wound up. Still has it. Still has it to Shaw. Shaw risks that one in. Blocked by Hatcher. Picked up by Gilchrist. Gilchrist able to get it out of the zone. Got Broughton on the right, 2-on-1 chance. Gilchrist going to the middle, but Sweeney was able to knock it away. Paul Broughton tried to set it up 3-on-3 the other way. Bruins coming over the boards literally as they go face first onto the ice. Picked up by Marois. Marois dropped it in front. Hines couldn't get it. Marois came over the boards and ended right on his nose as he tried to get into that break. Sweeney drops it back to Shaw. One of life's little embarrassing moments. Marois, body tipped away from him by Ludwig. Sent back out by Broughton. Paul Broughton out there, number 20. Stanton comes back to get it. Ball Stanton. Knocked down at the blue line by Trent Platt. Marois had it, lost it. Smolinski's got it, still does. Over to Marois. Marois, turnaround shot. Save made by Andy Moog. Stanton, save made by Moog again. Craig takes the heat off, gets it out. Roberts almost lost it. Smolinski picks it up. Bruins change it. Onside as it swept in.
Continued tight checking out there, but then you see a quick flurry of action. That little spin around shot almost did the trick, and you could feel the people in the building rise up. This is a playoff style game. Tight checking, a couple of chances, boom, and it settles back down to tight checking again.
Modano sends that one in. Playoffs started today. These Bruins will be taking on the Montreal Canadiens. So there are going to be a lot of changes before then. Nipscher's got it. Book checked away from him by Modano. Played up Gordy Roberts. Roberts with Modano on him. Sends it in. Andy Moog back to get it. Both teams completing line changes. Hatcher, Nipscher doing the job on him up ice. He freed that puck up, but Boston couldn't control. McKim knocked it down. Would have been a high stick. Won't be now as Modano sends it in, and the save almost. It did reach the balcony. John Casey made a save that reached the balcony. Front row leaned over and took the souvenir in.
You're getting ready for baseball, aren't you?
Right there.
Upper deck.
Upper deck shot. The gallery gods get one to take home. Other games.
Calgary ahead of Philadelphia in that game. Philadelphia trying to catch on to that last spot, but unsuccessful. Quebec and Detroit now tied it up. They finally got some scoring in that game. Washington still had 2-0.
Juneau, Jones, Sylvain Cote. They've added another one now. Keith Jones has scored. Washington 3-0 in that game. Iafrate drops it behind the net. Hughes dumped it off the boards. Dallas has not been caught up ice. Their defensemen, they've always been backed. Boston's not had a chance to break in. Their chances have been working the puck down low once they've got it in the zone. Iafrate tried to hold it in, could not. Comes back to Wesley. Up for Stewart. Cam Stewart. Hughes into the zone. Hughes drops it off. Nepshire with it. He centers it right through the crease. Nobody could get there to tip. Courtney all up and out. 2-on-1 chance. Broughton coming. He's got McPhee on the near side. Neil Broughton into McPhee. McPhee tied up. Puck free, but the whistle blows as the net came off the Marsh pegs with Broughton sliding into it.
There he is, a future Hall of Famer, Ray Bourque, out with a bad knee. But the good news for Ray, for the Bruins, and for Bruins fans, they expect him back before the playoffs. He's coming along pretty well.
Ray Bourque, second leading scorer for them, 91 points. It was a shame for Ray, the whole thing, but he had his first chance at a 100-point season, which he's never done before.
He's done so many things offensively, but he's never hit that 100-point barrier. He was on an easy track to get that.
91 points, but it's not going to make it. The games he'll miss. Shaw sends it ahead. Murray brings it into the zone. Murray taken away by Madonna. Swings it Ludwig with it. Swung it around. Deflected pass. Shaw stepping up, trying to hold it in. May bats it out to center. Sweeney comes back to get it. 13:20 to go in this game. Far from decided. 2-1 score that's held up since the first period with the Stars on top. Ludwig tried to bat it away. Sweeney ran it out in front to Donato. He tipped it but wide, not on net. Donato and Oates were both there. Sweeney plays it at center. Don Sweeney has been, according to his coach Brian Sutter, probably the most consistent player other than Ray Bourque on the team this season.
And they played together most of the season. They did an outstanding job. I think that was a good mix, a good change. Wesley and Bourque had played a lot to go together over the last couple of years, but that guy right there, Don Sweeney, paired up with Ray Bourque. And hey, when you play with Ray Bourque, you know good things are going to happen. He's leading his team in plus-minus, +31. But Sweeney's a good stay-at-home guy. There's Wesley. Wesley is having a career year as well. He's having career year as far as assists and total points goes. 43 assists, 55 points. That's the best ever for him. And perhaps getting away from Ray a little bit and being able to compliment him from a distance rather than being out there and being paired with him and being measured against him every time he makes a twist or a turn. It's worked better for Bourque. It's worked better for Sweeney. Worked better for Wesley and better for the Bruins.
Don Sweeney a little disappointed tonight. He watched a hockey game before this one started. His alumni, the Crimson at Harvard, Final Four in college hockey, but they lost in overtime to Lake Superior State. That game was on this afternoon and came in and said, shucks, played some great hockey there. Cleared out of the zone. Goes down by Gilchrist, this great hockey town, Boston University, also in the Final Four, playing tonight. Great history of hockey in Boston, and one of the reasons why the fans are so knowledgeable and have such interest. They see so many players come from college right up to Boston and play here, like Sweeney, who played 4 years at Harvard across the river in Cambridge. Lake Superior State in overtime with a victory over a Harvard team, which had a good part of the season, been ranked #1 in the country.
Ooh, that hurts. 3-2 in OT.
There's the BU score with, boy, there's a matchup of two great hockey universities. BU and Minnesota.
Yeah, they've been battling over the years, that's for sure.
Donato is from Harvard. Those two winners, somebody from that game, will be going against Lake Superior State, and you'll see it on ESPN. That'll be coming up 8 o'clock Saturday night for the NCAA Division I College Championship in hockey. Wesley shot, knocked down. Hatcher comes back to get it. 12:20 left to go. Remains 2-1. Marois knocked it down. Marois making the run in. Backhand centering pass deflected. Good play again. Defensively in front Gagne, and he leads the rush the other way. Gagne hits to the net, tipped it wide. Smolinski dumped by Gilchrist, or at least took a pretty good jump on him. Hines brings it the other way. Hines in. There's Hatcher, stands him up. Third back out of the zone. There you see it played by the book. Casey came way out to get that one. First defenseman plays the man. Second one plays the puck.
And Dallas doing a pretty good job on the rush again. They were trying that little give and go right at the blue line. We saw Broughton get a chance like that earlier in the hockey game. Gagne knifed through there for a second. Didn't get as good a chance as he had hoped for, but those chances are starting to come as they continue to execute that.
Platt picks it up to Modano. Modano. Roberts up to the blue line and right back out of the zone. Tip back in on the offside call. 11:29 left to go here in the third period. The Western Conference, where these Dallas Stars play right now. Playoff seedings. Detroit and Calgary, they are the division leaders, so they get 1 and 2. You see there could be changes, though, in those standings. Dallas has got a chance to move up on Toronto for sure, and maybe even Detroit. San Jose, Arthur Zerbe in net. They're going to go to the playoffs.
San Jose with an unbelievable run on that last road trip that kept them in that 8th and final playoff spot. There's Bob Gainey giving some words of encouragement and certainly words of advice in this very tight 2-1 game. He knows how to play it tight.
21-19. The shots on net here in favor of the Stars. Platt. Rebound shot. Modano. A save made by Casey. That one ended up on net. Good chance. Back the other way. Boston can't control. Stanton at center in the collision. Puck freed up along the boards to Modano. Modano dropped it. Craig shot. Save made again. Casey no rebound with Modano and Craig both looking for it. Western Conference standings will be affected by a game you'll see here on ESPN2's Fire on Ice. Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Jeremy Roenick and the Chicago Blackhawks will be taking on the St. Louis Blues. A couple of clubs who are going to go to the playoffs. The question is, who will they play? Could end up against one another.
There's going to be a lot of changes in the standings, I think, between now and the end of the season. Everything is so tight, it's too tough to call. People say too many teams make the playoffs in the NHL, but I'll tell you, the format this year with the format change, it's been more exciting than ever, and I think it just makes for more great hockey. There's a lot of good clubs out there that can go all the way.
Yep. The old trying to figure out who you'd rather play. I mean, all the players and coaches always say, we don't care. The fact of the matter is, they spend most of the off day wondering, who is it we'd rather play? But they don't want to talk about that.
That's right. And sometimes you can't decide. And one guy says this one and this one. That's why it's better not to have a choice. Just go out there and play and don't have a choice.
Adam Oates on the face-off against Gagne. Good play, Gagne, to win it back to Hatcher. Off to Broughton. Broughton the shot. Deflected wide. Hit off Gilchrist. Stick on the way in. Donato chasing. Donato beaten to the puck that time by Broughton. Stars a 2-1 lead. That's a 2-line pass. Down to 10:50 left to go in the third.
Craig Ludwig was picked up a couple of years ago, I guess, by the Stars organization, and he was an unsung hero 3 times with the Montreal Canadiens. He's a guy that they picked up as a behind-the-scenes type player. I mean, unsung hero pretty much tells it all right there. These are the kind of guys that pull your unit together. McPhee also was chosen unsung hero in Montreal 3 times as well. These guys are not great goal scorers. They're the guys that are the glue that hold everything together.
And the man who knows that is Bob Gainey behind the bench. He played with the guys you're talking about. Saw them play in Montreal after he got done. Chased behind the net by Lawler. 16 years Gainey spent Montreal Canadiens. Tipped away Donato. Donato backed it up. Bruins trying to get that tying goal here. Still plenty of time left. Ludwig's got it. And Ludwig will dish it in. If anything, Gainey may be concerned this team playing a little too conservatively. This third period haven't done much to try to create offensive chances. Icing call on Boston.
Yeah, I think that's true, and I think they have to be concerned a little bit, and they are. I talked to Bob this morning, and he said he's a little concerned about his offense. Are they going to be able to score enough goals in the clutch? And he talked about the trade where he got Lawler and Smolik over here because of the defense problems. Tenorti going down with a broken leg. He said, I had to shore up the defense. We had to do something about it. It became apparent fairly quickly. They had to give up Ulf Dahlin. And he said it was quality for quality. Dahlin, he said, is an excellent two-way player, and he can certainly score. He's in the prime of his career, and he's going to have more good years in front of him.
The teams, he improved from one season to the next, which is always what you're looking for. Gainey has been able to do that with this Dallas team. Daniel Marois steps up. Marois, and it ends up over the seats. Gainey's pushing one of his own players, Neil Broughton, for the Selke Award. And that's kind of interesting because Bob Gainey, I knew he'd won 4 Selkes, but I didn't realize they were the first 4 Selke Awards ever given. Gainey won those playing for the Montreal Canadiens along with 5 cups, and he thinks Neil Broughton deserves some votes. The Southie this year is the best defensive forward in the league.
Well, one of the many reasons that Dallas has come around and had such a great season this year, when everybody, virtually everybody at the beginning of the year picked him not to make the playoffs. Broughton didn't have a great year last year. He has certainly rebounded, along with all the other players, able to start off the season knowing that, hey, everybody's picking us not to make it. Let's show him.
That's why you were saying he deserves, Gainey deserves some attention for Coach of the Year. Hines in the corner battling Edison. Hatcher comes back to help out. And bangs it out to center again. Iafrate back to get it. Dallas trying to make sure they do not make that costly turnover. Once they get the puck, they're sending it out. Once they get it to center, they're sending it in. Get through center ice in a hurry. They change it up. 9:17 left to go. 2-1. Dallas on top. Sent in by Wesley. Boston's changing. Ludwig will take it in behind the net. Off the boards. Roberts touched that one up. Roberts back. He and Iafrate. Ton of ice time here tonight for the Boston Bruins. Roberts behind the net. Kicked away and not out of the zone. Held in. Flat dropped it. Modano shot. Somehow that didn't go in. That went off Casey. What a chance for Mike Modano. He was all alone.
And he just ripped that one too. And I think he changed his mind on where he wanted to shoot it, but he just ripped that shot.
Wow. There's back out. Nipshire there sends it right back in. Sent out by Ludwig. It's flat to Modano. Stanton will chase down for Boston.
And Modano kind of contorted his body around to get the shot on the near side upper corner because he was facing more to the other side of the net. He just hammered that.
Man doing and on as Nipshire just got hit on the near side. Chasing the puck down though. Sends it the other way. Not going to call any icing on this. Would have been, but the linesman and the referee had got pushed together on the far side. Nobody saw where the puck came from. Sweeney for Adam Oates. Oates trying to drop it through the middle. Tied up. Batted in the air. Gagne, Gilchrist were all over Oates. Gagne is kind of drawing the assignment here tonight. Gilchrist comes the other way. Gilchrist with Gagne. Gilchrist can't get around Sweeney. Pickpockets it away. Nice play, Don Sweeney for the tie. Deflected into the corner. That would have taken the roof off the old garden. Shaw trying to hold it in. Can't. Down goes Gilchrist. Near side, Paul Broughton. Face first. Sweeney leveled him. And Paul Broughton reaches up to tag him on the way by. Donato sends it in. Face first on that check. Kicked in to Glenn Murray. Murray back to Oates to Murray. Murray, Oates, and Donato on this line for Boston. Boston starting to get serious about this now. Lawler in the corner can't get it. Wesley down low. Wesley drops it behind the net. Had it back. Oates has got it. Oates trying to get it in front. Can't. Cleared around by Hatcher. Played on the near side by Iafrate. Iafrate sends it a little lower. And out of the zone, Broughton with McPhee. McPhee in front of the net. Broughton trying to get it to him. Can't. Iafrate over. That one was partially blocked. Adam Oates. Not out of the zone. Hatcher. Shot. Deflects to the wide side. You smell something burning? I do. Hatcher knocks it in the corner. It's our light. Glad it wasn't my nose. Somebody had turned our big light on the far side and there's smoke coming out of it. Held on to by McPhee. We're okay, folks. It's under control.
Your marshmallows are done.
I was ready to jump, however. Looking for the nearest exit. Comes back to center. This building would not take long. It's then into the corner. 6:20 left to go here in the third. Iafrate back. The new garden's not ready, so let's wait a while. Iafrate up ice. Hines sends it in. Back Dallas. They've got a forward and two defensemen back there all the time. They wave off any icing. Stanton's got to play this. Paul Stanton back to get it. Trent Platt knocked it away. Stanton does battle with it. Platt wants to pin it up for the draw. Bohaski's not going to let him. Telling him to play the puck. So he kicks it away. Smolinski puts the hit on Craig. Right back to Platt. Platt, Smolinski, Stanton. All there. And so is the puck. Roberts joins in, and finally enough, as the scrum fails to move the puck around, and Smolinski takes a little shot there. 5:39 left to go, and it's developed into this kind of game, Don Sweeney.
There's Don Sweeney, and he's out for another shift. His last shift was an excellent one. He was all over the place. You talk about Raymond Bourque. Well, that was a Raymond Bourque-like shift. Very inspirational. His club is down 2-1. He made a great defensive play, came right back up the ice, got a shot towards the net. The puck came back down, and you saw the hit that he put on Paul Broughton as we were going to the break. Don Sweeney back out there for more to try and get his club back in this hockey game.
See how defensive this game is. See the Bruins only outshot 10-76. Ludwig back to get it. Stars, though, it's their defense that's done the job here. Gilchrist, that's an offside pass.
That's right. Looking at this third period to say this is a classic Boston Bruins style game, but it's the Dallas Stars that are doing it to them in this building. They're doing, the Boston Bruins are coming up against exactly the type of style that they put up when they are leading 2-1. Dallas has shut everything down. The Bruins know they need a goal. They're trying to pull out all the stops. They're trying to get offensive chances. They're trying to penetrate. They're trying to get the puck deep. Dallas won't let any of it happen. Dallas
on the road, 18-15-4, but they've been outscored coming into tonight's game. With the goals that are up there tonight, it's 132 against them and 129 for them. They're one of the two teams with a winning road record that's been outscored. Shaw will chase it down, and with only 8 games remaining, those numbers pretty much tell you what's really happened over the course of the season. Sweeney takes it back in behind the net. 5:14 left to go in the third here in Boston. The Bruins shut this team up 3-0 in Dallas earlier in the year. Adam Oates will get plenty of ice time for the rest of this game. Marois back for Oates. Oates has it. Goes to the front of the net. Oates right there. Just no room to move. Back in front. Shot by Marois. Just trickled in. And now Marois and Hatcher get into it. Marois took a shot at him. Hatcher didn't like it. Thought about cross-checking him and decided the better of it with 4:49 to go.
The Boston Bruins know how to play on their ice surface, and well, they should. And in this building, it's tight quarters, offensively and defensively. And we'll take a look here on this last sequence of plays. Look at Boston down low behind the net. There's the puck down low. They'll come over and support each other. They don't throw it away. There's Adam Oates giving support on the near side. He doesn't try to go in the deep slot and force a pass a long ways away through several bodies. He's coming over very close to the man with the puck and trying to make it a short pass and turn it into an offensive chance.
Adam Oates won the draw after Freddie's shot deflected, can't be handled, and whistled. Don Koharski lost sight of that. He thought Andy Moog had caught that puck, but it deflected off his glove. Koharski's mad at himself for blowing the whistle, but he was on the far side, screened by Andy Moog's body, and that's a rule in the NHL. If he loses sight of the puck, he blows the whistle.
Well, in a game like this, less than 5 minutes ago, the home team is down by 1 goal. Home ice advantage comes in right now. They want the fans to kick in, and you can feel the play starting to build.
14,448, 20th sellout of the season. Up and down the bench, Brian Sutter trying to rev it up. They got plenty of time. All he needs one to tie. McPhee lost it. Oates in front at Donato. Donato tip, save Andy Moog. Ted Donato standing there waiting, another Harvard product. And Adam Oates kept looking at him, and I don't know if Oates had trouble handling it or what. He couldn't seem to get it to him.
Great patience, though, by Adam Oates. You go right back to the face-off here and see how things develop. Oates will end up with it as Boston is able to keep it in. There's Oates with the puck, and he's looking, surveying, and everything just stops. That's almost what was happening in Adam Oates' mind. It went down to a stop. What do I do here? He made the right play. Everybody was covered. Good coverage by Dallas. Throw it to the front of the net, make something happen.
Andy Moog. Face off to his left. Adam Oates again won the draw. They always try and get it back to Iafrate, and here's why. The shot. Save made. Rebound. Score! Glenn Murray. 2-2.
This is great stuff. This is an excellent goal. An excellent goal by the Boston Bruins in the clutch. We're going to go right back to the face-off again and watch this one develop. This is number 43, Al Iafrate, and he deserves the credit on this goal. He doesn't score it. Off the face-off, it'll come back to him. Watch him control the puck. Cool and calm, fakes the shot. There goes one guy down. In the middle, his head is up. Throws the wrist shot. The rebound comes up. Murray's the guy that finishes off for the Boston Bruins. But I'll tell you, Iafrate made it happen.
16 on the year. They finally get it by Andy Moog for a second time, and they've tied this game up. Shaw drops it off. The Bruins and Stars tied at 2. 4:17 in the game. Craig up ice. Mike Craig shot. Saved by Casey. Squeezes it shut. And Madonna pushing everybody in towards the Boston goaltender. And Hines didn't like it. Sweeney tackling from behind.
The intensity level just jumps about 10 octaves. Doesn't when a goal is scored, especially in this building when Boston ties things up. Still a lot of pushing and shoving going on there. The intensity level really high there.
Trent Klatt was trying to get back at Sweeney for hauling down Madonna. Sweeney got him in a full Nelson and held him on the ice.
And speaking of holding, Casey just held on to that puck. That one almost went in 5-hole between the pads. He squeezed them together just barely in time. That quick wrist shot from Craig. We'll take a look at it again. On the attack, the turnover in the neutral ice area. Dallas will go the other way. There's Craig. He's going to snap the shot, and watch Casey. He'll go over backwards. That one very nearly got in. Where is it? He's looking behind him. He's got it there. Then Boston comes to support their goaltender. The pushing and shoving started. And for the next 4 minutes and 11 seconds in this tie game, we're going to see a lot of pushing and shoving.
Tying goal at 15:33. Glenn Murray's 16th. Iafrate and Oates. Oates picking up his 105th point and his 73rd assist. 4:11 left to go. The Stars have lost 3 games this year where they've had a lead going into the third period. Boston has come back in the third period and won 3 games where they've entered it trailing. Andy Moog plays it up for Klatt. Swung out of the zone by Madonna to Craig. Blocked to Shaw. Shaw clears. Marois off Hines. Hines fakes it. Hines gets around. Hines centered shot. Save made. That one developed by a couple of mistakes by the Dallas Stars. They had 2 defensemen going the wrong way, and Smolinski is standing in front for the final opportunity.
Let's take another look at this one, Gary. And Smolinski, I think, is going to be wondering why he didn't go upstairs with this one. But you can see the penetration by Boston Bruins. They'll throw it back into the slot area. There's Smolinski with a quick one-timer. And it's difficult on those one-timers. We'll take another look at it. It looked like, to me, it hit on the heel of his stick. He's looking at the target. You're going to see the pass come from down low, back up through the slot. There's an excellent pass. The quick one-timer. He's trying to go far side. I just don't think he got the puck away the way he wanted it to. It was on the heel of his stick a little bit. He's looking at the target. You can only split your vision so much, and those one-timers, very small margin for error. He didn't quite get it the way he wanted. Big save by Andy Moog, though.
5th leading rookie scorer in the National Hockey League. Brian Smolinski had the chance. 3:48 left in regulation. Ludwig clears it around the net. Wesley holds it in for Boston. Oates is in front. Adam Oates goes back. Glenn Murray! And he got leveled on that one. Took a stick up high. Ludwig right there with him. He caught him and prevented Murray from getting the shot off. And they'll whistle this one as Ludwig's getting bent in 2 by Glenn Murray from behind.
That was an excellent feed attempt from Adam Oates from the corner. Let's take a look at this one from overhead. Andy Moog, I think, is the guy who deflects this pass. We talked about how active he is inside his crease earlier in the game. I think there it is. There's the stick. Your goaltender, when he does that, does a lot of good for himself. You can see if he doesn't let that one go, or if he does let that one go through, rather, Murray's got a goal. He just has to jam it.
Look at the huddle. Huddle it up, guys. Here we go. I've never seen a... Look at this. They were literally in a huddle.
Football scrum.
Football scrum, yeah.
That's right.
Face-off will be to the left of Andy Moog.
We'll have to listen and see if Dungagny calls any audibles at the line here.
Fred Nitsch here, the rookie, won the draw to Iafrate. Wesley the shot. Still loose in front. 3-on-3 the other way. Broughton sends it up. Casey goes back to get it. Wesley will pick up the loose puck. 3:15 to go regulation. Game tied at 2-2. Wesley got it out of the zone. Right side is Stewart. Nipshire trailing. Brought in by Hughes. The shot blocked into the corner. Good play again by Ludwig. Hughes the puck. Hughes center. Shot. Missed it. Nipshire was wide open, and he put it over the head of the Dallas goaltender.
The The puck was rolling there, Gary. He had one chance at it, and it just went over.
He was all by himself, and Andy Moog watched it fly over his right shoulder. Casey at the other end. The kid had the opportunity right there to give him the lead. Sweeney brings it up ice. Tipped into the zone by Hines. Backed up to the point. Sweeney there. Sweeney hit by Craig. Smolinski holds it in. Smolinski got held up. Hines looking. Shaw cutting. Shaw, the defenseman, was in front. Backhander Hines. There goes the net. And it was intentional. Penalty shot. There may be a penalty shot right here because McPhee intentionally lifted the net off the Marsh pegs while the puck was being shot towards the net.
I think you nailed this one, Gary. It's intentional. I think the situation was critical right there. McPhee was pushed into his crease area. He was behind his own goaltender, Andy Moog. He pushed the net off its moorings. Let's watch the pressure develop here, and Boston has had big-time pressure in the last several minutes. Down low, this pressure going at him, going at him. They'll throw it back out in front. There's McPhee, gets pushed into his own net, but he knows his goaltender is down. He knows it's a critical situation. He just lifted it off.
minutes, 36 seconds.
They have sent McPhee to the penalty box. You saw the opportunity developing there. They say the puck was not in the crease, so I don't think he's going to award a penalty shot. It was very close. The puck came through the crease, but the time the shot was actually taken, it had come outside of the crease area when the net was lifted up by McPhee. So it will be a power play and not a penalty shot. Good call by Koharski. He was right as to where the puck was. If it had been in the crease when that happened, we'd have had a penalty shot.
There's a look at it. There's McPhee. Well, we didn't get. It's tough to tell from that angle. You have to see it develop, but he was right in there. He measured the situation. McPhee did. That's an instantaneous decision you have to make. He knows he's in trouble. His goaltender's in trouble. They had banged into each other. Moog is down. The puck is right in front of him. What do I do here? Throw the net off.
Boston has not scored on 2 power play chances. With 2:24 to go in a 2-2 game here in the third. Power play Boston. McPhee is out for the delay of game. Adam Oates in the face-off, won it to Wesley. Boston power play. Oates, Donato, Smolinski up front. Iafrate and Wesley are back. Ludwig, one of the penalty killers. Oates, the puck. Wesley. Oates. You see what Dallas has done the whole game. They're very aggressive on their penalty killing, coming out to get that puck. Wesley centered it, knocked down behind the net. Smolinski. Smolinski tied up by Hatchet Oates. Donato. Donato able to hold it in. Far side, Iafrate takes the shot, blocked wide. Smolinski back. Wesley, the one-timer, deflected wide. Andy Moog could not see that shot. Iafrate off the glass. Donato. Smolinski back to Donato. Donato. Donato centered shot. Smolinski, no angle. It went wide. Iafrate down low. That's Boston power play by Mar in the game right here. Boston trying to get the lead. 2-2. They've got a minute on the power play. Smolinski is set up in front of the net. Donato back. Andy Moog out of the net. But Ludwig came back and pinned up Donato. Oates trying to center. Had it blocked by Hatcher. Back up for Wesley. Wesley. Iafrate. The shot. Save. Rebound. Smolinski. Blocked by the defenseman. Wesley able to hold it in. That was Darian Hatcher who went down and blocked that long shift for both these teams. Penalty killers are very tired. Donato back to Oates. Oates drops it up to Wesley. Under a minute to go in the game. Adam Oates, the shot deflected wide. Hatcher needs to clear. Gets it up and does.
Oh, he gets it out of the zone. They are exhausted. Darian Hatcher with an outstanding shift, not just blocking that shot. He made some crucial plays in the corner, forced some turnovers. They never got it out of the zone, but Hatcher was exhausted. He could barely shoot it out of the zone.
Now you're looking at time remaining in the period. 5 seconds left on the power play. Sweeney in his own end. Good play by Broughton. Gets it up ice. Knocked down by Oates. Can't handle it. Lawler. Power play is over. 20 seconds to go in regulation. Game tied at 2. Lawler drops it off. Outstanding power play, but the penalty killers got it done for the Stars. Adam Oates had to play the puck in to stick, and this is going to be icy. And a face-off with 4.8 left will come back in the Boston zone.
Adam Adam Oates shot the puck down the ice, and I think he's a little bit surprised. There was a stick laying on the ice, and he was so concerned about getting it out and over his blue line and about that stick that was laying there that I think maybe perhaps he thought, or obviously thought, he could shoot it down without there being an icing call, but not so. And now in a crucial situation, there will be a face-off back in the Boston zone. But speaking of face-offs, including the one that was won by Adam Oates that led to the Murray goal, Boston did a tremendous job in winning successive face-offs, 3, 4, 5 in a row deep in the Dallas zone. Now they're going to have to win one deep in their zone in dying stages here.
4.8 seconds left to go. Neither team has used their timeout yet, and so one will be used here. Boston will use their 30-second timeout. Game tied at 2 as the Bruins came back here in this third period. Battling away to get the tying goal. Trying to go for points in the East. Brian Sutter's Boston Bruins trying to move up. You see Boston with the 90 points. Montreal's only one ahead of them. They've got a shot at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, of course, with 93, leading their division. So they got a shot. They play Buffalo tomorrow, and Buffalo's trying to catch them as far as points are concerned for playoffs.
With everything so tight at the top and for the last playoff position as well, and we talk about it every year, Gary, coming down in the stretch and in the playoffs, injuries and special teams. Those are two big areas of concern. One of your big guns goes down, or your goaltender, your #1 goaltender, that puts you in a rut. And if your special teams come up short when you really need them, that can send you to the showers real quick.
A couple of well-dressed coaches in the National Hockey League.
I think they banged heads a few times as
Oh,
players
my
too.
gosh, can you
Ooh, man, there's two birds of a feather right
Right there.
Oh, feathers would be flying everywhere too, and
Talk
those two
about
run into each
checking
other.
and defense, huh?
Oh.
All right, let's see how they play this now. Adam Oates will take the faceoff against Mike Modano. They want to go back to the point. Dallas does, of course, in order to try and get that shot off. They've not pulled their goaltender, by the way. Too much time left. Won it to Craig. Craig tried to run it back in. Did. Craig looking for Klatt. Shot. Casey held the short side, and we go to overtime. Good chance for the Stars. With 4.8 left, they got their chance to win the game.
Oh, this has been a heck of a hockey game, and I'm looking forward to this overtime period.
They'll take the 2 minutes, and so will we. Then we'll be back for the OT. 2-2 at the end of regulation. Casey on the left going for his 30th win tonight. He has made 24 saves in the game. And Andy Moog on the right going for his 24th victory of the season. He has come away with 26 saves.
Well, that was a very exciting third period, and we saw a lot of Bruins hockey. Early on in the third, it was the Dallas Stars showing their rendition of Bruins hockey here in the Boston Garden, and the Boston Bruins themselves coming through with some great Bruin hockey in the late stages and coming up with that tying goal. And they had a chance to win it too before they even went to overtime. A couple of chances, point blank. Knipscher in particular, right in front of the net with that rolling puck, shot it over.
There you see the numbers for these teams in overtime. 6 overtime wins for Dallas. That's a lot of overtime wins. They've played 20 overtime games. That's the most. This is the 21st, one ahead of Florida in overtime games. And a sellout crowd settles back for the 5-minute sudden death overtime here. Bill Ajuno no longer with the Bruins, and Glenn Murray picked up the overtime goals that Boston has had this season for the overtime wins. 2 like that. Sweeney sends it in. We're in OT. Klatt to get it. Klatt up, not out. Shaw held it in. Knocked down by Hines. Can't get it in. Sweeney tries again. Deflected out to center. Craig. Craig giving chase. Sweeney. Craig's got it. Craig in. Shot deflected wide. And there goes the net again. Great effort made by Mike Craig as he ran into John Casey trying to get the shot off, and Casey's down.
John Casey shaking up on the play. Craig did an excellent job on this play, as did Sweeney, but watch Craig fend off Sweeney. Sweeney's pretty quick. He's trying to get to the puck. Smart play with the stick there by Craig, and he just taking it to the net. This is overtime, folks. He wants that goal. He piles into the goaltender. It's not his fault, but those goaltenders are really susceptible in those situations. It's like the catcher in baseball trying to hold on to home plate with everybody and their dog coming to the plate. You don't know what's going to happen. There you see it from a different angle. We'll take one more look from over top. Casey standing in there. He's got to block the shot. That's his primary purpose, and he got a little collision, or a big collision rather, with the net and also the player Mike Craig.
Hines scored for Boston in the first. Gagne and Modano scored for the Stars in the second. Then in the third, the tying goal was picked up by Glenn Murray from Iafrate and Oates at 15:33 to send us into this overtime. Neither team's been able to convert on a power play in this game. Bruins have gone 0 for 3, and so have the Stars. Adam Oates stays out. Their leading face-off man to work here against Dean Evason on the draw. Evason's played a very strong game. He wins it back to Wesley, the man he was looking for. Wesley immediately the protection of the net. 4:23 to go in the OT. Iafrate leading the rush by May into the zone. Adam Oates. His shot wide. Ludwig over to get it. Donato blocked it right up in the air. Dean Evason back. May stepping up Wesley to try and hold it in. He and May do battle. Evason came in to help out. Evason a battler. Donato the puck. Ted Donato turning to the middle. Dropped it off to Adam Oates. Oates back for Donato. One hands it through the crease. Glenn Murray was out in front, but he was being held on to and couldn't get to the puck. Boston back in their own zone. Wesley back. Iafrate. Big collision behind the play with May. Murray brings it in. Murray trying to get around Darian Hatcher. Oates picks up the loose puck and paid for it. He got leveled by Shane Churla. Murray trying to kick it away. Oates has gone to the front of the net. Murray still battling Churla. Donato waited. Comes to Murray. Murray back to Donato. Oates in front. Donato to Oates. Never got to him. It was deflected. Turn around Murray. Murray had it blocked. Hatcher's got the puck. Churla blocked it. Blocked by Donato. Hatcher looking for someone to clear to here. Can't find him, so he goes off the board.
Calm and cool under pressure. Hatcher doing a good job there. He didn't throw the puck away. He held on to it to see what happened. But a good thing to do there is keep your feet moving. If you stand still too long, somebody will box you into a corner, and then you'll be in trouble.
Dipshear sends it in. Boston trying to avoid no icing here. We are in OT. 2:58 to go in the overtime. Game tied at 2. Shaw. Hughes lost it. Delayed offside call. Gagne reaching in. Touch up in the zone by Stewart. That'll be whistle for a face-off. Talk 2 coming up here on the Deuce tonight. Stay with us as you will have Jim Rohn being joined by Bob Huggins, the head coach at the University of Cincinnati, and Dick Vitale with a Final Four ready to go. That's Talk 2. Your chance to call in. It's coming up next, and it's live here on the Deuce.
Well, the Dallas Stars might be a little tired because they're on the road, but they had a chance to relax a little bit on this road trip. We said they're in the midst of a 6-game road trip. After the game against Florida the other day, they went golfing, a team outing at Don Shula. I guess Don Shula owns a golf resort down there in the Miami area. The whole team went out golfing. They even brought Mark Tenorti in town. Tenorti, who I was surprised is not wearing a cast, was able to hobble around, and he actually played golf with the boys. So I think that's great. A big lift for them this time of year.
Got to break it up. Yep, got to keep it alive. Sweeney, Gilchrist battling in. Sweeney and Gilchrist. Sweeney got it up, not out. Gilchrist down low. 2:30 to go in a 5-minute overtime. Shaw kicks it away. Gilchrist got it back. Gilchrist and Shaw right out in front. Casey blocks it with a stick, and it comes out deep. Good chance there for the Stars. Bruins back the other way. 3-on-3 though. Stewart centering shot, fanned on down low. Hines was there, couldn't do anything with it. And Hines was upset as a Stars player had the stick between his legs and was yanking him from behind on that. So he never got set up for the shot. Hughes down low had that opportunity back up and sent in behind the net near side Smolinski. Smolinski bats it up. Hatcher gives him the shot. Down to 1:50 left to go in the OT. Stars will dump it in. Ledger just sent it in. Casey back to get it. Let it go. Smolinski didn't see it. McPhee sends it back in. They clear the zone. Wesley for the Bruins. Wesley hit by Broughton. Got taken down. Iafrate helps out. Iafrate, he got hit hard. Hatcher can't hold it in. Comes up. Hines with Smolinski. Hines shot. Save made. Andy Moog. Chance for the game winner right there. Smolinski on the far side. 1:20 left in the OT. His shot goes right through the crease. Shaw steps up. McPhee was there with him and batted it away.
Oh, some great action there, and Hines made the right decision. He wanted to make that pass. It wasn't there. He still got an excellent shot away and then jumped over the defenseman, and so doing, getting a good scoring chance. Excellent save there by Mo.
There sends it in. 1 minute left to go in the OT. Hatcher behind the net. Couple of forecheckers. Donato blocked that. Trent Platt moves in on Donato. Donato sent it back behind the net for Oates. It's up against the boards. 50 seconds remaining here in OT.
Let's take a look at that save again. This is a smart play by Hines. It was a 2-on-1, but not a clear-cut 2-on-1. Hines is the man on the right wing side. He's on the attack, and it's Ledger is a lone man back. Here's Hines. He's delaying. He's looking in the middle because Smolinski's there. Well played by Ledger, taking away the middle. Hines knows, okay, now I got to pull the trigger. And a good job by Andy Moog using his defenseman. Here's another look. That's a different play down at the other end of the ice. That's a scoring chance for Hughes in front. He had a chance to win the game, but unable to put it in the net.
Stars have 2 shots on goal, and the Bruins 1 in the overtime. Again, the Stars huddle it up for the face-off. Adam Oates again will take it against Dean Evison. Boy, they've done battle at the dot tonight. Oates will have Wesley back at the point along with Iafrate. There's Iafrate in the middle. They've tried to get it back to Wesley, who passes over to Iafrate for the one-timer. Oates, Evison. Evison won the faceoff. Huge win on the draw for the Stars, and it's cleared out. Wesley comes back to get it. You're looking at the time remaining in overtime here. Craig forcing the play. Wesley had to come around the net. Craig banged him. Oates was there over to Iafrate. Iafrate up for Murray. Murray bounces off the pads. Gagne. Wesley. Craig was there up for Murray. Pinned in the zone. Gagne. Oates gets it at the point. Here's Iafrate. He got run into and stood up at center ice by Gilchrist. Lawler sends it back the other way. This is an icing call. Boston gets back there. Murray on the touch-up, and here's a face-off back in the Stars' end.
That's what makes it interesting, those face-offs. And face-offs involve everybody out there, Gary. Too many times players stand back and watch the 2 center icemen go at it to see if they win it cleanly. A lot of times there's not a clean draw out there, and it'll end up somewhere in the face-off circle. Everybody has to be involved in that play. A lot of times a winning goal can be scored where the centerman actually did do a pretty decent job, and other players didn't help out enough to clear the puck.
Other games in the National Hockey League, and there are some finals now. Fleury had the hat trick. Philadelphia loses a big chance at points in that game. Sakic had the empty netter to wrap up the Quebec 4-2 win over Detroit. And Washington, Jones with a couple of goals. They are on top of Chicago at Chicago Stadium.
Well, we'll keep an eye here on this face-off. Last time Dean Evison won it very cleanly, did an excellent job. But we'll see if the other players get involved. If it's a scrum face-off and the puck is just lying there, somebody else has to get in there and help them out.
Same setup. Oates and Evison will take the draw. Wesley will be back on the board side, and Iafrate in the middle. Trying to get Evison to get in there and take the draw. Kevin Collins comes out to get him. Adam Oates, and again Evison wins it 2 in a row against Oates. Ludwig leveled by Stewart behind the net, but the puck is still cleared out. Stars back. 1 second left to go in the OT. Hatcher can't get the shot off, and he gives Stewart a hit at the buzzer. And that's something officials hate to see happen. Hatcher and Stewart. So this one ends in a 2-2 tie in OT here at the Boston Garden. And those are the updated standings now. Boston picking up a point to tie Montreal. And giving chase. Washington, remember, has a lead in their game. They've got a chance to solidify their playoff position. Talk 2 is coming up next. Bob Huggins and Dick Vitale will be on board live. That's next. Thanks for joining us. For Brian Engblom and all of our crew here in Boston, this is Gary Thorne. Our final score, Boston and Dallas 2-2 in OT. Good night, everybody.